very good morning, you beautiful souls. Welcome to it. You're live with Expresso. I am Graham Richards.
I'm Zoe Brown. Welcome to it. It is Monday morning, and I hope you are ready for your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, as we kick off this brand new week.
Do we have a new redhead on the team?
I wouldn't say it's not supposed to be red. It's rose gold,
It's
Graham.
awesome.
It's rose gold.
You look gorgeous. What a way to start a brand new week. It is the 18th of February. Unbelievable weekend in sport. Really, really massive. A gentleman by the name of Cornell Pereira just achieved something unbelievable in the first test against the Proteas. So we're going to delve into a very busy weekend of sport, but some history making, and of course the Proteas ladies also getting a clean sweep in their series, kicking off the ODIs with a complete dominance of Sri Lanka. So well done to them. So we'll get into all of that in a bit of a weekend.
I feel like I need some coffee. You just speaking sports. I'm like, Princess.
Get in there, girl. Get in there.
Prepared a coffee. I've got one ordered.
Is this a heart for me, Princess?
Yes. Oh,
no,
thank you, Princess.
so much,
and then Graham,
thank you.
You're stealing my coffee, Princess. I would love to have one too.
Okay.
That's all right. You can have my heart.
Okay.
So you can have my heart. Morning, team. How was your weekend? Morning.
Good morning, good morning. It's your Monday morning, guys.
It is a Monday morning on the Feel Good Breakfast Show. I'm Leanne Williams. This delectable, delicious specimen is...
Say it.
You are straight on.
my name.
And then we have Tabiso Makabela. He's here too, guys.
Well, thanks for that.
I don't even get to mention.
Minimalistic intro.
I got the worst. I got nothing. I got zero.
This is Nick.
Okay.
I love it. He's like,
Wow.
I got the worst.
I didn't get a mention, so you should be grateful.
Thank you.
You're a star, and I'm just
No, but you see
expendable.
what you didn't do is you didn't set it up.
Huh?
You didn't set it up.
I was waiting for her to set me up, because
I'm
that's
so
we have
sorry.
a understanding. By understanding, I mean there's
Really not so
an
much.
exchange of money and kindness and sentiments.
Of course. I have nothing but love for Nick Strelitz, but
As I
we've
stab
got
you.
an amazing show ahead. I usually love to just maybe catch up on what we're wearing. I am loving the
at the
guys
boys.
today. I'm loving the boys.
Fellas, suit up Monday.
Hey, suit up Mondays.
Why not start Monday on the highest note, and then the
Yes.
rest of the week just go downhill?
Yeah,
Right?
But you know what I love about Suit Up Mondays is
That was a
I
joke.
think in our minds we think about suit as being a boring, like stiff
Yeah.
thing. Look
Stuffy.
at you and straight
You
over.
would stand up,
Let me stand up.
please,
Let
and
me
do a
stand up.
twirl.
Paired with some
How's this
tea.
coloring though in the actual suiting? So fellas, like instead of getting just a classic solid tone,
Yeah.
you go down to Woolies, you can actually see variations in the type of sort of, I'd say peppering.
Yeah.
Because I went to fashion school. But you can't say peppering because you did not go to fashion
What does
school.
peppering mean?
It's in the fabrication, so there's actual distinguishing different colors in the actual suit. So if you get a nice close-up of the suit jacket, you can see all the intricacies in terms of the woven fabrics. It's different coloring, different yarns, which I love. That's an instant way to...
Yeah.
And with a rose gold earring?
Oh yeah, perfect. Absolutely
I
perfect.
mean, is that not summer 2019?
That's what I've been
Exactly.
missing
It's
on this
lovely.
Monday morning.
Yeah.
And I would feel better.
Is that
Thank
not
you
a
very much.
Kendall Jenner reincarnate?
And then of course, Tabisa, I think you're looking fantastic as well. I
It's
love
quite
that
easy,
you're
right?
paired.
And simple, but good to go.
And the sock.
Simple but good to go.
Injecting personality with a sock.
Yeah,
And not
I always
injecting
say.
with a syringe.
Yeah.
It's a
With a
metaphor.
sock.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And then you with the, okay, I don't want to stab you.
Don't stab me. I
Or
can
do I?
stab myself. What do
Oh,
you want?
wow,
What are we
okay.
doing?
Wow.
I just think with black, and I always say black is best. We had this conversation last week, but girl, you just gotta do a pop of something, and you love your metallic
Yes.
pumps. Leanne Williams is a big fan of metal, so why not pair with the earring as well? Just keep the metallic flow from head to toe, from head to toe, from head to toe.
I love that, and I love how, and then if I were to maybe have a rose gold bag, it would just bring it all together, because this really is the statement. I know
the
that we
statement,
think it's
yeah.
the shoes, but the black dress really does
Black
make
is a statement, absolutely is a statement all on its own.
Absolutely.
cool.
No, I think we're all sorted for this Monday morning with regards to what we are wearing and looking fabulous. Hope you get some inspiration right there. Let's quickly run you through some of the major cities in terms of a weather overview very quickly. Johannesburg today, clear skies with plenty of sunshine. Warm temperatures can be expected as well. Little to no wind. Humidity remains low, so you can enjoy a bit of a relief from the rain. I heard it was quite a lot of rain up there on that part of the world. Durban as well, partly cloudy to pleasantly warm temperatures as well. Light breeze that will pick up towards midday, and humidity will increase towards the evening, allowing for a nice and warm sunset, which is going to be beautiful. Don't forget your sunblock, it's going to be nice and hot. Port Elizabeth, the windy city, the friendly city, pleasantly warm temperatures. temperatures with an abundance of sunshine. It's going to be a beautiful day in Port Elizabeth. Sky remains clear towards the evening, and then an easterly breeze will get stronger towards the afternoon. Looking quickly at Cape Town, what you can expect, sunny conditions which will turn partly cloudy towards the end of the day. Humidity will decrease towards the afternoon, and a slight southerly breeze that it'll get stronger by the evening. So you can expect that one as well. So hold on to your hats. It is going to start blowing a little bit. But all in all, I think it was a beautiful weekend all around the country as well, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you had a good weekend.
Yeah, we were sent good weather this past weekend.
We had good weather.
Beautiful. Well, listen, we got some meals prepped for you throughout the morning today, and these are load-shedding meals. Guys, what's happening in the kitchen?
Yes, we have to plan our lives and schedules around the unpredictability of load shedding. So we thought we're going to have some fun in the kitchen, and this really shouldn't be affected by load shedding. So this morning, I mean, look at all of these ingredients. Of course, during the show, we will be putting it together. But here in front of me, we have all the ingredients you need to make a raw satay vegan noodle. So of course, we're also going meat-free today. It's meat-free Monday. And if you're wondering what a satay is, well, it's this delicious peanutty sauce over here.
That looks amazing. I think we're underselling it by calling it just a peanut sauce. I'm seeing some amazing things going through.
I'm simplifying it.
But this is how, and that's what she has to do with me in the kitchen. I dig the vibe that we've got. The meat-free is really cool, but this is kind of my flavor profile at the moment. Fresh, crisp bowls, lots of textures, and the keyword here is dish to 33728 if you'd like to create this satay, beautiful dish with us this morning. Then we're going to move on to dinner, and we're going to keep it dish. On the meat-free Monday vibe, we are making black bean and corn burritos. No electricity required. You can even eat it by candlelight to make it more romantic. And the keyword is dinner for this one, 233728. And it's got a sriracha sauce, so it's got a little bit of heat, not too much. But
I'm all for things that doesn't require a stove, so yes.
And for me, maximum effort at the moment. So I want it to be healthy, and it must come together in like 10 seconds.
I'm loving the ingredients in front of me. Of course, we will be putting all of these meals together throughout the show. But hey, let's find out what's happening in the beauty room.
Oh man, okay, well, now that you know what meals you can actually prepare to look forward to this morning, when you look at your load-shedding schedule, that's one way to start your Monday, right?
That's good, man. That's a nice little menu put together for you. So yeah, take note of those and cook along with us. It's going to be fun. Yes, you've got a pocket square.
Okay, what's happening there?
What is this? Anyone?
That is a duck.
Respect the duck.
It's a stunning yarmulke.
Oh.
Because I told you, because Mia Shul had a bar mitzvah. Don't hate.
Okay, no, it's cool.
It was okay.
Yeah.
That was also a joke. It's a pocket. Oh, guys, it's a pocket square. It's not a yarmulke. Get with it. But we are tolerant of all creeds on the show.
Right. Beautiful.
Okay, this is taking really a long time. Listen.
How do you go? Because I would like to dress my suit up with a bit of a pocket square.
Would you?
I would.
That's a perfect segue into what I'm discussing.
Exactly.
Well, I saw like with the suit, and again, we're dressing suits down. We're making them more casual with a tee instead of a button-up or a golf shirt, which we love for this season. So I think this is just again, like the accessories for a black attire, for a suit. Can I help you? It's just like staring at me so creepily from the side. Oh, he's taking notes. I love it. Yeah. Again, we're dressing down the suit, so why not add this to give it more eleganza? Eleganza, extravaganza. Okay, and a lot of guys don't know this, but your suit, this comes with a sealed pocket. Most suits come with a sealed pocket. Guys think you can't actually open it up, but you can. And then, girl, just other side. Okay, but look at that. It's like a flower.
I don't think anybody's ever said to you, girl.
No. It completely would.
Well, there you go, girl. That looks amazing.
Thanks, man. Thanks. But the rose gold earrings would give you nice. Okay, so what's the correct way of handling a pocket square?
Listen, you can do it a variety of ways, but I think the easiest way is to treat it like a bouquet of flowers. Or is that? I'm like, no. So right from the center part, so in the actual middle, so you go from the center and you just pick up.
Okay.
I said flowers because it kind of looks like a bunch of flowers. I've never received any flowers, so I can only vouch for my friends say and what my girlfriends tell me. And then just straight in, and then you can actually just play around with the actual height and length. But I like how nice is that?
But it does lift it up. There's something amazing about a pocket square is that you shove it in, and there's something about it just instantly transforms the look.
It does, and
Imagine
it's
this
so
without
easy.
the pocket square, and now with
oh my God, 410. 410.
There we go.
Ooh.
You are. This is my left pectoral. You know,
I know it is.
Yeah, it's like
I was very happy to be there.
Way too much, yeah, but it's okay. It's all good.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thanks, man.
So just again, it's about easy ways to elevate the looks. We're always talking about elevation. That's it.
Elevation.
Elevation.
Okay, listen, let's talk some local entertainment news. Bonang, we know she's always up to something. I mean, she really does not cease to amaze us. And this time around, she's headed to India to speak at a UN summit, guys. Yes. So she obviously is known, very well known as SA's loved media personality. She's gone to go speak today, rather, at the hashtag We See Equal Gender Equality Summit hosted by UN Women in Mumbai, India. It brings together leading voices in policy, government, business, media, and entertainment from across the Indian subcontinent, the Middle East, and Africa. So she said that her involvement, she said, I'm very passionate about gender equality and especially about creating a brighter future for the women of tomorrow. I am excited about taking part in this important conversation and doing more to help girls everywhere reach their full potential.
We love that.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So this sees Bonang continuing her partnership with UN organizations in support of girls' education, such as the 2018 version of it that she did, hashtag Leave No Girl Behind, which she's been involved in. So it's good to see a bit of consistency because very often celebrities jump into this and there's almost like an inconsistency and we don't believe it because it seems like, it's a great opportunity to go out to some country to go speak and take some nice Instagram photos. But when you see a bit of consistency and a story that's coming through about their involvement and their passion about a specific issue, it's good to see that.
I love that. I love that. Well, something that I also love, Valentine's Day, Katy Perry posted something on the gram that just blew the internet away. She said that she is in full bloom, meaning that she and boyfriend since 2016, Orlando Bloom, are getting married.
No.
Of course, the two of them have been married previously, but it seems like they've found love
Without
with
two
one
other people.
another. So
not to each other.
Not to each other. No. And Orlando Bloom has got a child, but it's just nice to see Katy Perry lucky in love. I think the last few were hits and misses. But the two of them have been together for what is a lifetime in Hollywood. 2 years.
But what I do think is cool that Orlando really, he went to her kind of traditional parents and he did ask as well.
That.
So nice. Can I have your daughter's hand in marriage?
That's nice.
And then he went on one knee.
Don't just steal the girl and marry her. Ask the parents for permission. I love that.
From Russell Brand to Orlando. Remember she was married to Russell Brand?
I know.
That was a bit of a
That was
show.
a mess, I think.
We're going to have some nice music coming through from her. No more sad songs. Songs about love only coming through. Katy Perry, we're happy for you.
All right, I'm going to catch up with the news. Yeah, I'll see you guys in a minute.
There we go. And we are left to our own devices. It's your Monday morning. Well, I really do hope that you had a great weekend and that you were able to recharge a little bit and that you feel ready for the week. I know that we certainly are. And we'd love to kick off the week with you. So let's do it in true fashion. Stick around. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Expresso right here on SABC3. Let's do it.
Okay, we've got a quote for today, right?
Yes,
tell me. Read it out for us.
Please. Okay, here we go. I will definitely give you something to, think about, some food for thought. It says, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. So I think that's just pondering on. Of course, you always want to, if something happens to you, you want to get back at it or something, But there is a moment where you just have to think, it's like, okay, wait, what is going to be the far-reaching effects of this? And this was, of course, Mahatma Gandhi. He had the strict policy of not condoning violence, which was famously used during, of course, the campaign for independence in India. And this well-known quote really resonated with a lot of people because, it's very simple, but it's very true as well. So maybe just think about that one if you go into your Monday. Hopefully, your Monday is not going to be too blue after this one, and just change your perspective in your thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. We don't want the whole world blind, so don't do it. Let's get this show on the road.
I step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
It's officially your Feel Good Breakfast Show right here on Expresso, and it's time for us to catch up with what's happening in your news at 6 p.m. or just after. The process of retrieving 7 bodies from the Gloria coal mine in Middelburg in Mpumalanga is expected to get underway today. 7 bodies were discovered on Thursday, bringing the death toll to 12, and 15 others are still unaccounted for. Teams of workers have started to clear roads that were damaged by the heavy rains experienced in many parts of Bloemfontein over the past few days. On the international front, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has called for calm following a decision by the country's Electoral Commission to postpone the presidential election that would have taken place on Saturday. Voting will now take place on Saturday, the 23rd of February. President Donald Trump has declared a national emergency at the US-Mexico border after a stinging budget defeat. Trump is moving to secure more money for his long-promised wall by exercising a broad interpretation of his presidential powers that is certain to draw stiff legal challenges. And then finally, South African chef Kobus van der Merwe has been shortlisted for the inaugural World Restaurant Awards set to take place in Paris today. Van der Merwe's restaurant, Wolfgat, is located in the populous town of Paternoster on the west coast. The restaurant is situated in a 130-year-old fisherman's cottage that was built in a historic cave called Wolfgat. The secret of the chef's success? Well, it's that Kobus says there's an element of wild food on the menu. They go picking succulents, wild herbs, and seaweeds every morning, and they all end up somewhere on the menu. Very seasonal. Chef Kobus is truly making waves on the international culinary front, and may his reward today be a very scrumptious one. Well, that was your 6 o'clock news headlines. Let's get a taste of what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Graham.
After an incredible weekend of sport, there is only really one place to start. Cassim Pereira unbeaten on 153 alongside last man standing Vishwa Fernando, who managed the highest last wicket stand in a successful fourth innings chase in first-class cricket history. They gave Sri Lanka only their second victory in 14 tests in South Africa, and of course a 1-0 lead in the test series. The second test begins on Thursday at St George's Park. Then on to Super Rugby, beating the Stormers 43 at Loftus for the bonus point win. The Bulls sent a massive statement under new coach Puerto Human, and Roscoe Speckman, of course, stole the show in his Super Rugby debut. Manus Skuman scoring 3 tries to see the Golden Lions defeat the Jaguares in Argentina for the first time, 25-16. And the debutants shone as the Sharks crushed the Sunwolves 45-10 out on the road. And then finally, Manchester City powered into the FA Cup quarterfinals, beating fourth-tier Newport County 4-1. Guardiola's side battled with the pitch of a team 82 places below them in League 2. After Padraig Amon's late goal cancelled out Sané's opener, Phil Foden netted a brace before Riyad Mahrez wrapped up the win with David Silva pulling all the strings. And tonight, to wrap up the 5th round, Chelsea welcome Manchester United to Stamford Bridge. We'll expand on all of those headlines in just a moment in our weekend sports review.
Oh, thank you, Graham. And also a big thank you to Mapundi, who sent us this gorgeous grey skyline from Polokwane, indeed. So if we're going to take a look at those temperatures, Polokwane today, warm temperatures, plenty of sunshine with a low of 14 and a high of 27 degrees Celsius. Moving on now to Mbombela, your low for today, it is 15, your high 28. If you're in Pretoria, 14 can be expected with a high of 29. It's sunny in Johannesburg, 12 with a high of 26. Mahikeng, 17 with a high of 30. Sunny conditions in Klerksdorp, 14 reaching a high of 30. Partly cloudy conditions in Kimberley, 18 reaching a high of 34. Bloemfontein, 13 with a high of 30. Richards Bay, 18 reaching a high of 26. Partly cloudy conditions in Pietermaritzburg, 13 reaching a high of 25. Partly cloudy in Durban today, 12 with a high of 27. Mthatha, 14, 26 is London, 18 with a high of 26. Sunny in Cradock, a low of 13, a high of 32. Port Elizabeth, 18, 25. George, 18 with a high of 26. Sutherland, 14, reaching a high of 30. Sunny conditions in Cape Town today, a low of 18 with a high of 28. Worcester, 15, reaching a high of 35. Springbok, 10, reaching a high of 32. And Uppington, a low of 20 with a high of 38 degrees Celsius. Well, if you like Mapundi and you'd love to send us a beautiful sunrise photo, feel free to do so on the Expresso Facebook page.
Thank you so much, Zoe girl. Zoe.
Digging the new hair, man.
Zoella.
The rose gold hair. It looks awesome.
It works on Zoe,
yeah, man.
Very cool. Listen, we're going to be taking a very quick break. It's your Monday morning. It's officially underway right now. We're talking sports, yes, and it's a big weekend. You could look at Graham. He's almost like shivering just a little bit.
It was a weekend of superhero performances, man. It really, really was. Sri Lanka put in probably one of the best performances in the history of Sri Lankan cricket this weekend. Kusal Perera, 150 not outs, so many records broken, just awesome. So we're gonna sink our teeth into all of that and Super Rugby as well.
Beautiful. And then after that, we know that it's load shedding season, and we know we're getting lots and lots of that.
Oh,
so we got
winter is
Cindy
coming,
in the building. Yeah, we got Cindy in the building. She's giving us home workouts that'll keep you busy during load shedding. When the power cuts, you don't need to stop. You can get abs while that's happening.
You can power up.
So, you can power up on the power cuts. So stick around right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Time for us to head to the socials this morning and find out what is our very first post for this gorgeous Monday, the start of a brand new week. We want to know from you, our Expresso family, what hashtag random act of kindness can you do for someone today? Let's check out some of your responses. Peter Anthony says, hello from Belfast, Northern Ireland, to assist those students who are less fortunate than myself. I love that. Also, Mac Bolan Janssen says, let's show kindness by having perspective when encountering any conflict today with a colleague. We all have our personal struggles. I love it. Plus, you spend the most time with your colleagues. Also, Theodore says, give someone a big hug. Pumla says, share your food with someone. And then Wanda says, basically, say sorry if you step on someone's toes. Always a good idea. Thank you so much, Expresso family. Let me know what other random acts of kindness you can do for someone today.
Well, unapologetically, Kusal Perera put in a Superman, according to Faf du Plessis. Performance to see Sri Lanka make history in their final run chase to take a 1-0 lead in the Test series against the Proteas. The Bulls looked every much the superhero their kit was representing to dominate the Stormers in the opening week of Super Rugby, and dominate they did. And although they succumbed to the reigning Premier League champions Manchester City in the 5th round of the FA Cup, Newport County produced the heroics of legend and lore for their home fans against the side ranked 83 places above them in England. And of course, our very own Wonder Woman, the Proteas ladies, made it a clean sweep against Sri Lanka in the cricket as well. Welcome to one of our own superheroes on a weekend of heroes.
Thanks.
Round
of applause for Kusal Perera.
Please, can we have...
Unbelievable. One of the great Test innings in history, you know. Especially a guy coming from Sri Lanka on the South African pitch. You always think that their batsmen get dominated by our pace bowlers. But this guy just pulling the shots out, man. Sixes over square leg, mid-wicket, anyway.
Where do you even begin with this? I think from a support, because he went through a patch, 4 wickets dropped and even when they started the day, it looked like this was done and dusted. The Proteas had played the tactical game brilliantly. But what I loved is Vishwa Fernando, who he'd already taken 8 for 123 with the ball, so he must have been exhausted. Comes on and tells him, I'll hit the ball with my body if I have to. You just do what you have to do, and did it. He in the most amazing way. What does this mean for Sri Lankan cricket? Put it into context. Why is everyone so amazed?
Yeah, there were about 74 runs to win when the last wicket started, you know, and you think that's game over.
It's impossible with a number 11.
Keshav Maharaj was getting into it, took 2 wickets in 2 balls, and you thought, okay, it's done. But then the way Fernando's stuck it out, and then Perera, just a shot making. It wasn't slogging, it was pure cricket shots.
Perfect selection,
the beauty of Test cricket. You know, people go on about T20, but, you know, for me, this is the purest form of the game, and this is what it can produce.
Love it. Not completely without a silver lining for the Springboks, for the Proteas, of course. Both De Kock and Faf in the top 10 now for the first time in his career.
Yeah, and also Dale Steyn took some wickets, so
Evergreen.
You know, he's moving on. He's now gone past Stuart Broad in the leading wicket takers list.
And now they've made a game of it. So we've got our second test kicking off on Thursday in St George's Park. Should be a beautiful contest. Now, what a way to set a platform for a test series. Now, let's move ourselves along to the opening of Super Rugby 2019. We're going to work backwards from I'm going to call it an utter dominance. And it felt like a dominance on and off the field in terms of Puerto Human with his understanding of what was needed to cancel out and crush a Stormers side that's in crisis. Am I being a little too dramatic at this stage of the season?
Probably perhaps
43.
But the result, you know, there was only one superhero team on that field. And the way they played with their jerseys as well, the Stormers didn't even wear their superhero jerseys.
Why, guys? Why?
It doesn't make sense because it's all the SA derbies they were supposed to. But the way the Bulls manhandled the Stormers, lineouts were a mess. The way they exploited their mistakes, the Stormers' mistakes. The Stormers couldn't get their line-out going at all. Or even though their scrum was actually quite good, the Stormers, but just from there, no continuity in the back line as well. And the Bulls just rumbled over them.
Andre Pollard, perfect with the boot as well.
Roscoe
20 points.
Speckman.
Roscoe, welcome to the fold, buddy.
Star, you know, showing he can handle Super Rugby.
I must say, Dylan Later's going to want to forget Roscoe's arrival on the Super Rugby scene. But moving down through the South African franchises, Lions, superb against and that's their first win.
Their first win in Argentina against the Jaguares. You know, the way their forwards really climbed in, dominated the scrums. They scored a couple of tries off mauls as well. You know, a really wonderful effort up front, and that crushed sort of the spirit of the Jaguares. They always get up at home, but this time the Lions pulled it through.
Manas Skuman getting 3 tries. He wasn't even in that team originally, but I'm going to round it off. Of course, the Sharks also looked amazing. But the Blues Crusaders, I'm hoping we've got that clip loaded. Welcome back to the fold, Ma Anon. What did you make of his return to Super Rugby?
Yeah, look, he's serious. He wants to make that World Cup. Even at 37, he showed that, I mean, the Blues should have won that game, you know, and just his impact in midfield is going to be difficult for Sonny Bowl to get back in there.
It's going to be really, really tough. I think Richie Mwanga getting absolutely bounced. And I love the commentator. Don't worry, son, you're not the first. Absolutely love it.
Won't be the last either.
And then again, we have to also just congratulate the Proteas ladies for taking the ODI series against Sri Lanka. But as always, let us know on our social media platforms what you thought of this weekend sport. Where do your allegiances lie? Who are you most pumped about?
Righto, so it's time for a little bit of fitness. We're chilling out here. Well, we're not really going to be chilling out in the next minute or so. Cindy Abrams with us, and we're talking what to do during load shedding. Yeah, like Tabiso said it very nicely. It's load shedding season. But it doesn't mean that when the lights go off, you don't have to do anything. You can still work on some abs. That's why Cindy is here this morning with some great exercises that you can do with your partner at home, just for fun. When the lights go out, with the dark, you know, couple of candles, nice romantic ab exercises, right?
Yes. I mean, just because the light is out doesn't mean you can't have fun.
Exactly.
This is just a nicer fun.
Okay, cool. Let's get into it. So some ab workouts you can do at home, very easy. Take it away, Cindy.
So basically what you want to do is you want to lie down on the back.
Okay.
Leg shoulder width apart. You're going to start with easy crunches.
Okay. And you would do how many?
So you want to go for 15 and then you're going to change it up.
Okay.
So you're going to do 3 rounds of 15.
Okay.
Then you're going to change into a straight leg bicycle.
All right.
Straight leg bicycle is where the legs are up straight, opposite elbow to knee. So you want to control the movement, squeeze on the top and feel the burn.
Got it.
From there, you're going to bend the knees.
Okay.
So you're going to in and then lift straight up. Bend the knee in and then lift straight up. So it's like you're supersetting the abs.
Okay. Got it. Nice. So once again, 15 on one leg, 15
One more,
on the other.
and then we're going to change sides. Now we're doing the other side. In,
And up.
up. In, up.
Got it.
Are you feeling it here?
Hey, it's getting there. Stomach is getting nice and warm. And we love
So you're
it.
going 3 more. That's
it.
1. That's 2. That's 3. Then you're going to turn onto the left side.
Okay. I will just look at you. So we
No
know.
pressure on the shoulders.
Okay, got it.
Keep the knees closed. Take the
Okay.
hand. Work your obliques.
Nice. Get into the obliques.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
And you
Change
repeat on the other
sides.
side. Okay.
How are you feeling?
Hey, I'm lekker. It's your Monday morning. Cindy Abrams giving us a nice little stomach workout. What you can do during a load shedding scenario. Where are we?
15.
So that's it.
Now the easy one. It's called the bug.
The what?
The bug.
The bug.
So take your shoulders off the mat, straighten out the leg, bring it back in. Straighten out, back in. So it works the whole abs.
Okay.
All the way down from the top to the bottom.
Nice. And this is a sequence that you can obviously now repeat.
Yes.
Take a little bit of a rest in between.
And then to finish it off, we're going to plank. So you're going to high plank.
All right.
And you just hold it there.
And you just hold that. Perfect. Cindy, thank you very much. While we're holding the plank position, great stomach exercises that you can do if the lights go out, and I think it's a great variation. Couple of rounds of these and you're good to go.
You're good to go. When the lights is back on, you can start eating.
I love it. Thank you, Cindy. We're going to be back with another segment in just a bit. Come on, we can do this for 2 minutes. Come on.
Keep going, keep going. You're almost there.
It's going.
It's going, it's going. As you can see, slender, tender for your gender.
Ooh, well, listen, we are taking
Almost.
a quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Go refill those coffee cups, because when we get back after the break, we're going to get to know DJ and producer Cassim a little bit better after the break.
That's right. Also, last week on Valentine's Day, I went out to Robben Island, got to meet some really interesting couples as they tied the knot at the 18th annual Robben Island Mass Weddings. It was beautiful, and we bring you all that action. Dum, ta, dum, after the break. Dum, 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 dum.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. We are still feeling the love. Of course, so you got to be a part of some very special Valentine's Day celebrations.
It was super special.
Oh, just so sweet. And hopefully you had an amazing day. Well, I certainly think it was an incredible day for 12 couples that literally you could feel the excitement, the nerves as well, as you would before any nuptials. It was palpable at the Nelson Mandela Gateway at the V&A Waterfront, and Tabisa was there to meet these couples before they embarked on a very special journey.
A very special one indeed. Of course, it's become an annual thing where couples go to Robben Island for the mass weddings, and our cameras were there to capture the action.
Most couples on their wedding day come together to say I do, but not the ones you're going to see today. They've decided to use a World Heritage site to say we do. It's the annual Robben Island Mass Weddings.
These 12 couples are continuing the now 18-year-long tradition of congregating in the small Garrison Church on the 14th of February to celebrate their nuptials in one of the most unique ways.
Well, this is a campaign that we run on a yearly basis. It's been going on for 18 years. It's a campaign that we've been running with the Department of Home Affairs that we're very grateful for. And it is actually quite poignant that it comes at this time with our 20th celebration as a World Heritage Site. There's always been life taking place at Robben Island. And this is just one of those pictures that shows that in the middle of all the challenges, you know, our slogan is the triumph of the human spirit against all adversary. And marriage is one of those things. And that's the powerful thing about the celebration that we're having this year. A lot goes behind organizing this kind of an event. There's a lot of putting things together, catering, there's transport to get everybody here. There are even challenges around the weather, which you cannot predict. Remember, in the minds of the people that are getting married, they want to do it on Robben Island. And you always keep your fingers crossed to make sure that weather acts up. And today we're having a very, very nice weather. The sea is calm. There's no wind. It's nice and sunny. So we're quite grateful.
The mass weddings are hosted and also made possible by the Department of Home Affairs, a centre in which the diversity of South Africans is widely recognised and celebrated with the range of acts under which partners can get married in this country.
On this Valentine's Day, we are also celebrating with South Africans who went to this historic site at Robben Island. We started this about 2000, and from today we have had already more than 290 couples getting married in that island through this program. It is now an island museum, a place of love, and the change from that place of misery during the apartheid years, which then reflected this triumph of a human spirit of adversities. We do this to encourage because there are different types of unions which have had there. We have got the normal civic union, we have got the amendment of the unions where we allow same-sex marriages in line with our constitution. And we also, over years, have recognized those who are in traditional or cultural marriages. So those are the things we are encouraging.
Cupid couldn't possibly create any more love than what was present on Robben Island that day, and each couple has a beautiful journey that has led them down the aisle of love, like Marcia Jumad and Rosanna Julius, who are the first same-sex couple to be married during this annual mass marriage.
Okay, it started 10 years ago when she was only 19 years old. We were both working at McDonald's that time. 4 years ago, she only asked me to date her. And then 2 years ago, she asked me actually to marry her.
Well, I proposed to her. It was on the 3rd of March at Blauwek Beach. It was a very windy day, so we were walking up and down. I was still coming from work. And she was like, no, let's go to the car and go home because it's too windy. And then I was like, no, let's take one more walk up. So I raised the car to ask her. And then eventually I just asked and she said yes.
We were on the beach walking up and down. I was so tired because we walked like 1,000,000 miles. And then only I said, okay, yes.
Expresso spoke with Ndakwazi Baki and Nhlanhla Nhlapo on our live show before they set off for the island, and they are glowing now that their nuptials are official.
We feel so much happy. Now that it's done, it's a beautiful day, nice venue, nice music, nice ceremony. It's on top of the world. Couldn't be better.
I am excited, of course. I've been waiting for this moment. Finally, I am officially Mrs. Mahlaba.
Another special day of mass marriages has come to an end, with all these beautiful couples all looking forward to long and lasting, happy relationships and futures with each other. Well, who knows? Next year, maybe you might be one of the lucky few who get to share in the special moments out on Robben Island.
Well, it is a Monday and also time for us to celebrate some more heroes making a huge difference in this beautiful country we call home.
Crush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
In 2018, the Clover Crush Share the Goodness campaign gave 10,000 pairs of new Smart Step school shoes to children across the nation. And in in the new school year, the much-loved fruit juice brand isn't sitting on their laurels. They've doubled the goodness they're sharing by committing to give away 20,000 pairs of school shoes. To help share the goodness, they've partnered up with Smart Steps, and here to tell us more is Smart Steps product developer Bajabulile Gigaba to chat about how they have taken on the important role of providing school shoes to students across South Africa with Clover Crush. Baja, so good to have you on the show this morning.
Morning.
Looking beautiful as a ray of sunshine, might I add.
Thank you.
So tell me more about Smart Steps. I know that it was founded in 2000.
Correct.
Why was it so important for the brand to partner with this venture?
It's obviously part of our corporate initiative and responsibility of giving back. But more than anything, it gave us a sense of pride to know that participating in this campaign would actually mean that we're impacting lives of 20,000 less fortunate children. So for us, it was part of just the corporate's responsibility, but then once again, just about the brand awareness and also a sense of pride of taking part in actually sustaining somebody's life.
Yeah. And talking about brand awareness, whenever I think of Smart Steps, it's like such a proudly South African brand.
Right.
What is it about the brand that just makes it so proudly South African?
Well, the brand is made by South African people.
Wow.
But it's made by South African people for the South Africans.
Yeah.
So you look at things like the location of where our production facilities are. They're actually not in the industrial outskirts, but they're actually within the community. So it also stimulates employment within the community, and that's what actually makes the brand a truly authentic South African brand.
Well, this is the second year that Smart Steps is partnering with Clover Crush. Why was it such a good fit, excuse me, to collaborate with a brand for a second year in a row?
The first time around we participated, obviously we were just excited about just being involved and being able to reach out into somebody's life. But then when we saw an impact that it had in the lives of these little children, and we already manufacturing school shoes, we were really like, okay, this is something that we're really proud to be part of, and we would like to take it going forward and just motivate somebody out there and give like each and every child an equal opportunity to feel that sense of pride in the classroom.
Yeah. Talking about an equal opportunity, why do you think it's so important that a child has something as, most people wouldn't think twice about it, school shoes
I know.
You know, to begin a new school year with?
Because everybody will think school shoes is just like a taken for granted items, part of a uniform. However, we understand, having our founder himself growing up less fortunate and going to school barefooted. So we understand that like over 70% of South African kids, I mean the ones that are involved in the campaign, they walk barefooted to school. So we felt that it's an opportunity to give each and every child a fair chance, that sense of pride and confidence, and have one less non-academic issue to worry about, and then give everybody a fair chance to actually go into the classroom, be confident, and then just do their best.
Yeah. Now, I know, of course, having gone through many a pair as well, you want a pair that is good. You want one that is durable, that has the right materials. How does Smart Steps make sure that they give a child a shoe that is hard-wearing and durable?
So firstly, we really are into the proudly South African theme, to a point that during our products development stage, we actually, when we're working on our patterns, we actually go to the actual schools within the communities. We do the fit test. So it's not like a cookie cutter model where it's like a small foot is like a small custom-made pattern that was made in 1980, and then we just carry on with that. So comforts, that provides for comforts because we're actually adjusting with what the actual foot of the child is like. And then we also use like breathable materials, even though they're synthetic, they're not genuine leather, but it's still durable materials. We also use recycled soles.
Wow.
So even though they're recycled, they're also very flexible, which is actually very empirical for a kid to walk around, to play in the playground. So that's what we do.
That's amazing. Baja, thank you so much for being on our show this morning. And thank you so much for giving 20,000 learners brand new school shoes. You're making such a huge difference in the lives of those young ones.
Thank you so much.
Oh, this is how we like to start off a Monday. Now, the variety of these designs results in school shoes that are sturdy, affordable, and comfortable, making them perfect for growing feet. The Smart Steps ranges uses synthetic materials, offering durability and affordability. A pair of school shoes isn't just a pair of shoes. It's one of the elements we all need to get to school and to get through that school year successfully. Now, do you remember what it was like to have a brand new pair of school shoes? That is the same feeling that the Clover Crush campaign wants to share with the young ones all around the country. Now, Smart Steps aims to give these deserving learners this opportunity all across our beautiful country.
Crush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
Oh, well, listen, we are loving this outdoor space. We're going to be chilling here, and while we're chilling here, we're going to get to know DJ and producer Cassim a little bit better, and that's coming up after the break.
Now, we know that we've just come out of the summer holidays with lots of time spent out in the sun, but how important is sunscreen really as we head out of the holidays into the now? Find out after the break, right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso on SABC3, and we have Cassim in studio with us, making headlines and headwaves on the South African music front. And he started his career in 2012 and has performed at Ultra Music Festival, as well as in Ibiza, London, Amsterdam, Zimbabwe, as well as Mozambique. And of course, he's joining us this morning in this gorgeous outdoor couch area to just catch up and find out a little bit more. So welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Kyle, you good, man.
We love it.
So good to have you here. You are my absolute favorite. There's nothing that sets the tone for my weekend better than when I am driving home in the evening on Friday and I hear you and I hear the mixes that you play on your show. It's just incredible. So it's good to have you here. You are one part of Cinnamon. And you recently won Record of the Year at the Dance Music Awards. How was that moment? Take us through it.
You know what? It was actually surreal.
Yeah.
Because it was our first track, our first release, and we actually made the track in such a hurry. We had a deadline to meet with Sony Records. They're like, we need a track from you right now. Yeah. You've missed the first deadline. We made it, we sent it in, and the track just did so well. We won a DMA. And we were chatting about it just now.
Yes.
The track's done really well across the country in the different markets, which is really cool.
Yeah. For those who's not sure of the track, it's the one where you guys teamed up with Amy Jones.
Yes, I love Amy.
That
She's so
one
sweet.
is absolutely incredible. Yes, she was actually on the show not too long ago and she performed it. So talk about Cinnamon. You one of the two. It's a duo. Who is the other one?
So the other half, is my other half, which is which is my younger brother.
Okay.
He's 8 years younger than me, but you'd never say so. We're basically one person except I have a beard.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, same. And we decided a couple of years ago that when he finished school, we would start a duo.
Okay.
Because we have the same interest, we have the same music preference, and it just made sense to combine. And it's been working really well.
Yeah.
We had a second single in December, and we've got another one coming out in April.
Oh, exciting things. And I know you guys are also performing at Ultra that's coming up now, the 1st and the 2nd of March.
Can't wait.
What can people look forward to from your set?
So, interesting enough, and I think a lot of DJs probably hate me for this, but I'm playing twice at Ultra this year.
Oh,
wow. Wow.
I know, it's like, really, Carl?
Yeah.
I was actually going to make a T-shirt like for my second set saying it's me again.
Yeah. So you just hog
you have
the
to now
DJ
wear the
desk.
T-shirt.
So I'm playing as Cinnamon and as Cassim.
Okay.
Cinnamon, we're going to be playing all of our own production, a lot of upcoming music, unreleased stuff that people can look forward to.
Yeah.
And as Cassim, that's when I go more underground, deeper Ibiza vibes, Croatia vibes.
Amazing.
I'm not letting you go before you tell us about Cassim's Kitchen. What is that about? I've been seeing it all over social media.
I think you asked me about that because you wanted an invite to the next.
I want an invite to Cassim's Kitchen.
Well, listen, yes.
Cassim's Kitchen is basically, it started off by me cooking in my kitchen at home and having guest DJs come and play live in my kitchen.
Yeah.
And it's actually grown so much that right now we're touring the country and I'm cooking in different restaurants' kitchen, making their menus while guest DJs of mine play in their kitchen. It's really cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Next time you're both invited.
Yeah.
We're both invited. Well, how about
behave.
I'm going to
Cape Town
invite...
people are hectic.
I'm going to invite you into the Expresso kitchen. How's that? I think
Done
Carl
deal.
needs to whip up a dish for us in the kitchen.
Done.
So that will be coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And of course, we'll be sitting down with Carl a bit later. There's still so much we want to know, so don't go anywhere.
Alrighty, so it's a Monday morning. Let's have a little bit of fun and see if you are switched on and ready for the week. Are you up to date with the who's who of South Africa and what they've been up to lately? Well, it's our regular Guess Who game, and we'll give you a couple of clues to figure out who we are talking about. And of course, the gorgeous Leanne will run you through a couple of tips as well, right?
Wow, okay, cool. So here are your clues. This is the blurred out face. Don't really think you can make it out.
I think she's wearing pink earrings.
Definitely, that's the one thing that we can see. But here are some clues if you need some help. The gorgeous local rapper is in the Vogue World 100 list. Now, she's also known for rapping in her native tongue of Tonga. I think that's going to give it away. And then she also lit up the stage the Global Citizen Award evening with her song Wakanda Forever. I actually got to interview her.
Oh, really?
Carpet. She is gorgeous. I absolutely love this singer.
Gorgeous.
I really do.
So those are a couple of clues for you and some more blurry pictures to help you along the way. Can you guess who we are talking about? That's a big question. So what you need to do, head on over to our social media platforms at Expresso Show and let us know, who do you think our mystery person is? Remember to include that hashtag Expresso Show and we'll run you through those answers and see if you got it right a little bit later on.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to take a quick ad break. While you think on the answer, go to social media and then type it in there. And of course, we'll be right back after the break.
Clover Crush, 100% pure fruit juice packed with vitamins and no added sugar. Crush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Lead with love by Clover.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're tuning into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso right here on SABC3. It's your Monday morning. It's so good to be hanging out with you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Right now, though, it is time for the news with Leanne. I've got a cup of coffee, but it's not for me. It's definitely not for me. It is for you, actually, Leanne.
Oh, while I'm doing the news?
Because it is Random Acts of Kindness Day. So you go have a chill, and I will do the news for you. How's that?
Wow, thank you, Stray. Oh, man, it's not even my birthday.
It's not even your birthday. I'll get into the news. We'll sort it out. Well, there we go. It is your Monday morning. Let's take a look at your news headlines. It is 7 o'clock right now, just before. Firstly, the process of retrieving 7 bodies from the Gloria coal mine in Middelburg, Mpumalanga, is expected to get underway today. 7 bodies were discovered on Thursday, bringing the death toll to 12. 15 others are still unaccounted for. The rescue and recovery team had to suspend the search due to the high levels of methane gas underground, but a fan has been placed inside the shaft to extract the toxic gas. It's believed illegal miners were trapped, allegedly stealing copper cables. And teams of workers have started to clear roads that have been damaged by the heavy rains experienced in many parts of Bloemfontein over the past few days. Mangaung Municipal spokesperson Kondile Kadama says the municipality wants to restore the main roads as speedily as possible. He said they will start to gravel some of the roads where the most potholes occur. Kadama said the Mangaung Metro will also continue to assist families displaced by the recent floods. Then making international news headlines this morning, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has called for calm following a decision by the country's Electoral Commission to postpone the presidential election that would have taken place on Saturday. He expressed disappointment at the delay, but added that he remains committed to ensuring the credibility of the vote. Electoral officials have cited logistical concerns for the delay, saying the vote has been rescheduled for Saturday, 23 February. The presidential election campaign has been dominated by Buhari and his main challenger, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. And President Donald Trump has declared a national emergency at the US-Mexico border after a stinging budget defeat. Trump is moving to secure more money for his long-promised wall by exercising a broad interpretation of his presidential powers that is certain to draw stiff legal challenges. In his emergency proclamation, Trump painted a picture of the border as a major entry point for criminals, gang members and illicit narcotics, and one that threatens core national security interests. Overall, though, illegal border crossings are down from a high of 1.6 million in 2000. And finally, concerned Cape Town residents have mobilized spontaneously to refill a completely dried-up dam in Brackenfell to benefit local bird species. The dam in Vredekloof is home to dozens of ducks and other water birds and is also a well-known green belt and park area for residents. Social media was used to spread the word about efforts to save the dam, and it paid off. On Saturday morning, trucks filled with much-needed borehole water arrived at the dam to the delight of the residents and their feathered friends. Nearly 500,000 litres of donated water will now ensure that ducks, rabbits and other water birds will enjoy a water-filled home until the arrival of the much-needed winter rains. And with that story, we leave you news headlines. We'll run you through those stories once again in half an hour's time. Right, let's quickly take a look at your major sports stories on your Monday morning. Katy Perry unbeaten on 153 alongside last man Bishop Fernando, who had returned match figures of 8 for 123 with the ball, added 78 runs for the highest last wicket stand in a successful fourth innings chase in first-class cricket to give Sri Lanka only their second victory in 14 tests in South Africa and a 1-0 lead in the test series. A silver lining for South Africa, along with Dale Steyn's return to his best form, captain Faf du Plessis and Quinton de Kock entered the top 10 batsman rankings. The second test begins on Thursday at St. George's Park. And beating the Stormers 43 at Loftus for the bonus point, the Bulls sent a massive statement under new coach Pote Human, with Roscoe Speckman stealing the show in his Super Rugby debut. Fly half Andre Pollard was also perfect with his boot kicking 20 points. In Buenos Aires, though, late replacement Marnus Skuman scored 3 tries to see the Golden Lions defeat the Jaguares in Argentina for the first time, 25-16, and the debutants shone as the Sharks put on a dominant display of old-school rugby to crush the Sunwolves 45-10. And Manchester City powered into the FA Cup quarter-final, surviving a battling display from fourth tier host to beat Newport County 4-1. Guardiola's side battered with the pitch of a team 82 places below them in League 2, indebted to Anderson for keeping them level in the first half. In the second, after Padraig Armand's late goal cancelled out sane openers, young Phil Foden netted a brace before Riyad Mahrez wrapped up the win with David Silva pulling all the strings. Tonight we wrap up the round as Chelsea welcome Manchester United to Stamford Bridge. That's where we leave your sport for now. We'll run you through those stories as well in half an hour's time. Right now, a quick look at your traffic.
This morning, starting off in Gauteng, if you're in Lenborough Park on the N3 northbound, there is a stationary vehicle after the Marlborough Drive, which is currently obstructing the left lane. Please keep a lookout for that. If you are in the Western Cape, in Gales River, there is congestion on the R300 northbound before the N1 off-ramp. Delays can be expected there, so please be patient on the roads this morning. And off to the trains, there is an extended travel time of 15 to 20 minutes on the Wellington line. This is due to speed restrictions and manual authorization of trains at Wellington. Your next report will be at 7:30 right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Zoe with the weather.
Don't fear the flu. Boost your immune system with Effaflu-C Immune Booster by Pharmadynamics. Effective, affordable healthcare.
Well, we've asked you to send in those beautiful sunrise photos, and we just want to say thank you to Charlotte, who sent us this beautiful sunrise from Coffee Bay this morning. Thank you so much for that. Today in Coffee Bay, you can expect partly sunny conditions, warm temperatures, reaching a maximum of 26 degrees. Well, if you're like Charlotte and you'd love to share a picture with us, your sunrise photo, feel free to do so on the Expresso Facebook page. But on that note, let's look at the rest of the temperatures, starting off in Polokwane, a low of 14 with a high of 27, Mbombela 15 reaching a high of 28, partly cloudy in Pretoria 14 with a high of 29, Johannesburg 12 reaching a high of 26. It's partly cloudy in Mahikeng 17 reaching a high of 30, Klerksdorp 14 reaching a high of 30, Kimberley 18, 34, Bloemfontein 13 reaching a high of 30. Some scattered showers is expected in Richards Bay 16 with a high of 26, Pietermaritzburg 13, 25, Durban 19, 27, Mthatha 14 reaching a high of 26. Partly cloudy conditions in East London, a low of 18, a high of 26, Cradock 13 reaching a high of 32. Port Elizabeth 18.25, George 18.26. If you're in Sutherland, 14's your minimum, 30 your maximum. Cape Town 18.28, Worcester 15 reaching a high of 35. Sunny in Springbok today with a high of 32, and Uppington a low of 20 with a high of 38 degrees Celsius. That's where we leave your weather for now, but let's take a look at who's celebrating their birthdays.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Oh, when you hear that tune, you know what it means. Time for us to get into some birthdays, some famous people, and then, of course, our famous Expresso family at home. Now, best known for playing the role of Lip Gallagher on the hit Showtime comedy drama series Shameless, Jeremy Allen White is turning a whole 27 years old today.
Sure.
And then also actor Matt Dillon also celebrates his birthday today, and he's known for movies like There's Something About Mary, etc., etc.
Yes.
He turns 54 years old today.
I can't remember the last time I saw that movie.
I
with
know,
Matt Dillon.
right?
I love him, man. Very, very cool. Now, let's quickly take a look at you, our viewers, our real celebrities who's celebrating your birthdays. Thank you very much for getting in touch. First and foremost, Gugule to Lungile, celebrating her 16th birthday today. So happy, sweet 16 to you, Gugule. To beautiful. Look at that smile, man. Love it. Well, you have many, many more. Enjoy your birthday. And then Melissa would love to wish Gaynor a very happy birthday as well. There's Gaynor celebrating her birthday. Lovely stuff. Happy birthday, Gaynor.
Happy birthday. Also, Samuel Sipiwe Matlaola is also celebrating his birthday, 18th of February, and turning 46. Says, please wish me a happy birthday. Well, we just did, Samuel.
Yay,
happy
Samuel.
birthday.
Happy
Looking
birthday.
amazing.
Happy birthday.
Also, a very big happy birthday to my big girl, Rahima. And this is, of course, Mommy and Pa says they love you very, very much.
Oh,
Rahima is 6 today. So 6. So, so cute at 6. I love it.
So cute. I love this next message that we got as well. It says, please, please, please be so kind as to wish to view my sister's pic for her birthday on Monday. We're viewing her sister's pic right there. Wishing my big sis Robin a wonderful and blessed day with many, many more to follow. Thank you for being the special person that you are. Love you tons. And that's from Haley Mayer. Robin, have a lovely birthday. Enjoy it. Hope you get to spend it with your family and your friends, and just be merry. And then lastly, we have happy birthday to little Princess Luanne. Now, Luanne is experiencing her very first birthday today. Yeah, Luanne, have a great day, Luanne. And may you have many, many more. Look at that, it's adorable.
Loonies. Oh, I can't deal with this cuteness on the show today. So a very big happy birthday to all our legends out there. May you have an epic day and an even better year ahead. And if you would like to send a birthday shout out, well, then you can send all of those details to birthdays@cordova.tv. Thank you so much, Princess, for the cake. Ewan's going to get into that since Tabiso
I'm going to save it for Luanne.
Here.
No, Luanne's got her first birthday. I think it should go to her. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it, Luanne. It's yours, all right? And then you guys can all share in a little bit of peace. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just like that.
Coming for that cake. I see what you guys are doing in there. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, and I hope the feel-good is going through on a Monday. Well, listen, getting your foot into the entertainment industry is not easy. Getting signed to a reputable recording company is not easy either. But Cassim, who's our guest this morning, he's done it all and so much more. And hopefully he's got some tips for you and I, or maybe not so much me because I'm not trying to sing, but he's got some tips if you're looking to get into the industry. Carl, so good to have you here.
Well, you all started out for you in 2012. I think, what was that deciding factor for you that this is what I want to do, this is what I want to turn into a career?
You know, we say 2012 because that's basically more when my professional career started taking off.
Okay.
But I've been DJing since I'm 13, hey?
So it's always been in you.
It's always been there. I mean, It's been a long goal. Some people studied to be a doctor for 10 years.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for the last, I don't want to give away my age.
Yeah. You've pretty much got your 1,000 hours plus more in there during that time.
Yeah.
But it also runs in the family, because you said you and your brother, you guys are the duo that makes up Cinnamon, so it's definitely, it's in your blood.
100%, and obviously my dad, if you do a bit of research on me, my dad was a DJ when he was younger.
Oh, wow.
That's where it all stems from. My dad was a part-time DJ when he was growing up.
Yeah.
And that influenced me to want to be a DJ. All I ever heard was like house records back at home.
Amazing.
Funky, disco.
Yeah.
That's quite
And
cool.
2016 was when it really just shot up, where you started at 5FM. Tell us about that. How did that happen?
So interesting thing, 2016 I went to Ibiza and I got back in August and I'd made a decision that I wanted to move to Ibiza. And I said, I'm going to go to Ibiza now, I want to go start my career that side.
Yeah.
A month later, 5FM called me and said, we'd like to give you your own show.
Oh, wow.
And I had to make that decision and I was like, 5FM's always been my dream.
Ibiza, 5FM, Ibiza,
always
5FM, yeah.
I've got a T-shirt signed from Mark Pilgrim and Sasha Martinengo when I was 13, saying "Keep up the passion."
Oh.
And I mean that T-shirt's now thousands of years old.
Yeah.
So when 5FM called me, that is and has always been my dream job to have my own show on 5.
But you still get to go to Ibiza and
Exactly.
play. You still get to go to Ibiza and have fun.
Smart, yes.
You did the good choice. So when is your show on 5?
So I have 2 shows. I run the Ultimix on a Tuesday night from 6 to 7 p.m. And on a Friday night is the Cassim show.
My favorite.
Keeping you... It's like... That's from 7 to 10 on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's just basically premiering all the new house records from around the world and obviously all the local talents.
Yeah.
I have a lot of guest mixers, I have some residents.
Yeah.
It's just a party, a 3-hour party on a Friday night to make you start your weekend.
Oh, listen, who doesn't want to start off their weekend that way? And I know there's a lot of people that would also love to know. There's a lot of debates, you know, open up the industry. But from your point of view, for someone that wants to get into what you're doing, I mean, you're traveling around, you're playing, you're a DJ and a producer. Where's the best place for them to start?
In your bedroom. You know, we're living in a different age now with technology and social media. And I'd say in terms of becoming a product these days, you need to be the product. You can't just be a DJ anymore. You really can't. Technical skill and stuff is overlooked these days. You have to have a brand. You need to have your social media rights. And the biggest thing is production. That's why Cinnamon is doing really well, because we're creating tracks on a regular basis, and you have to provide people with that. Back in the day, we just downloaded music and played it.
Yeah.
Now people want you to play your own music.
Be original.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Cassim on your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, hanging out with us this morning. What do you think? Have you got any questions for him? Hashtag Expresso Show on Facebook as well as Twitter, and he'll be hanging out with us throughout the morning. So good to have you here.
Thank you.
We've got lots more feel-good coming through right here, so stay here.
All right, so we're going to be taking a very quick break. Princess, may I please have a cup of coffee? And do you have something to eat there as well? Yeah, maybe a croissant? maybe? Cindy, it's this for you, actually. It's my random act of kindness.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
giving it
Can I
to
have
you,
a double
exactly.
espresso, please?
No, there we go, because you know what? Cindy is here. She's going to show us how to stay fit. Doing load shedding, and she put me through a nice little ab workout earlier on, and we're going to continue with that
Yes,
ab
that's
workout
why we're
just
having
now.
the double espresso.
You see?
Burn it.
To burn it, get it in there. And then also we're going to take a look at a rather interesting story as to how golf can teach you actual life lessons. And I love that story as well. We'll bring you more details on that and more, and abs after the break. Stick around.
Enjoy a moment in between with McAfee. See you after the break.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Well, December brought summer holidays and time in the sun, and the heat still continues today with scorching temperatures. But did you know that sunburn can occur within only 15 minutes? South Africa still has the second highest incidence of skin cancer in the world and one of the highest incidences of melanoma worldwide. Annually, at least 20,000 South Africans get diagnosed with non-melanoma skin cancer, while approximately 1,500 are diagnosed with melanoma. And while melanoma is less common than other skin cancers, it is the most dangerous. So here to help us unpack how to protect our skin from the sun and the importance of sunscreen is US-based skincare specialist, Dr. Janine Ellenberger. Janine, so good to have you on the show this morning. US-based, but South African.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Well, it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
We are talking skin cancer, cancer of the skin, and I think a lot of people want to know what are some of the warning signs they need to look out for?
I think the important thing is if you have something on your skin that you feel is new or different or a sore that doesn't heal, it needs to be attended to.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a mole, they have the 4 classic things, A, B, C, D. If you look at a mole that's asymmetric, so the one side is not the same as the other, or the borders are slightly irregular, as you see on the picture there. Color differentiation, so generally a mole will be like a dark brown, light brown mix, but if you have big changes in color within one lesion, a little bit of blue, black, white, red, very important to have that seen by a dermatologist.
Yeah. I have some moles I like regularly. Are you still normal? Good. Just checking.
Look after it.
Who would be most at risk for skin cancer?
So I think the most at risk people are your fairer skinned people. But that being said, people that spend time in the sun and people with a family history of melanoma are definitely at a higher risk for skin cancer. People with darker skin, although they have more natural protection against the sun, the type of skin cancer they get is far worse. So Bob Marley, for example, died of melanoma at the age of 32.
Sure. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
So I know that we're always prompting people to wear sunscreen. How effective and preventative is sunscreen really?
If you use sunscreen and you use the right sunscreen properly, it does help. So I think it's important to understand that you need to put it on when you go out in the morning because the sun's rays that are responsible for skin cancer are UVA. And UVA rays are long, but you don't feel them. So they're coming in through the studio door right now. And those are the ones that actually penetrate deepest into the skin. And they're the ones that trigger melanoma. So when you wake up in the morning, I think the most important thing to do is once you've got your face clean is put your sunscreen on. Put your sunscreen on your arms, you know, the areas of your body that are exposed to the sun. And then you have to reapply because sunscreen is only effective for basically up to 2 hours.
Okay.
And you really do want a sunscreen that contains a lot of antioxidants in it, not just the sunscreen itself, because the antioxidants reduce the inflammation in the skin, which stops the skin from forming cancer.
See, I didn't know that. I really, really enjoyed that in terms of knowing that your sunscreen needs to actually check the ingredients, not just the SPF.
Very important.
Now, Janine, how true is it? I heard that, you know, if you've had a couple of bad skin burns as a child, that increases your risk as an adult. Is that true or not?
So I stand under correction because can't remember the exact stats, but I know for every one sunburn where you're red and you burn, it increases your risk for skin cancer 5 times. So
throughout your life?
Throughout your life, yes.
Wow, that is crazy. And I still see people frying themselves in the sun, like with oils, and I'm like, stop!
Yeah.
It might be cute now, but later on in life, not so much.
It's not cute.
It's never cute. But also, besides skin cancer, why is it really, really important for us to be wearing sunscreen every day?
It helps prevent damage to your skin all round. So it helps prevent hyperpigmentation, premature aging. And if you do have any skin conditions, it can aggravate it.
Yeah.
So sunscreen is very important. It's prevention is better than cure. I mean, to have a skin cancer cut out is unsightly.
Yeah.
So if you just use the sunscreen, it helps prevent that.
If someone's watching now and they're panicking and they feel like, is it too late? Is it something like it's too late, or can you just start wearing your sunscreen, start protecting what you've got left?
It's never too late.
Is there a reverse process?
Yes, it's never too late. We used to think that all of the skin's damage was done before the age of 18, and that's not true.
Okay.
It's, I think it's something like 23% is done before the age of 18, and it's accumulative each decade thereafter. So if you start taking care of your skin in the early 20s, you will see that for the rest of your life.
Well, hopefully we've driven this message home. Thank you so much to Dr. Janine Ellenberger, skincare specialist based in the US, but of course making sure she spreads that message not only right here at home, but all over the world. It's very, very important to wear the sunscreen, and it's never too late.
Sun cream sorted. Cindy, are you good, man?
I'm good to go. How about you?
Love it. Lekker. Lucian catch. There we go. Okay, cool. So we are back with Cindy Abrams, and we are talking load shedding ideas in terms of workouts. Maybe you want to get into a bit of stomach workouts. You don't have to just sit still and do nothing in the dark. We can do, there's very much creative ways we can go about it. But we are doing exercises now with Cindy. Cindy.
Do you know what I was thinking? When it's dark, we're going to be training, but when the lights go on, we're going to have six-pack.
You see now. It's a win-win situation for everyone. Okay, cool. So Cindy gave us a nice little rundown in terms of exercises earlier on. Right now, she is back with some new ideas. What are we doing?
Okay, so first we're going to start off again with our straight leg bicycle.
Right.
But then we're going to plank and we're going to do side to side.
I like that. Okay.
So straight leg bicycle, legs up.
Right.
Opposite elbow to knee. Keep the legs straight. So you want to do 15, 3 sets.
15, 3 sets. Got it.
So you're going to feel it starts burning, but it's also a good warm-up.
This is a great one because
5,
it really gets into the lower abs as well,
4,
which people tend to kind of forget about.
3, 2, 1. Now we're going to change over. We're going into our high plank.
Into the high plank.
High plank first. So we're going to stand.
All right.
Watch your form. It's very important. People tend to do that, or they go too low.
Okay, don't sag
you
the
have
hips.
to keep the body like a tabletop.
Got it.
So you hold it.
All
5,
right.
4, 3, 2, 1. Low plank.
Okay.
Now you're going to hold. Also breathe.
This is the thing people tend to. That's why I think people tend to get very tired with this specific one, because you forget to breathe. Yeah.
So you hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put the legs together and you're going side to side. Make sure the hip bone touches the floor.
Okay, really contracting that side obliques.
Pull the navel towards the spine.
15 of these guys.
Correct.
Yeah, you can really feel that one working very nicely into the obliques.
Now, we're going to push up onto our knees. We're going to slide the legs through.
All right.
Straight into the bug. So it's the shoulders is off from the floor. Straighten the leg out. And it works the abs all the way from the top to the bottom.
Got it. Perfect.
Then we superset. Where we're going opposite.
Okay.
So it's opposite elbow to knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, and change sides.
All right. So there we have it. Cindy, thank you very much. Perfect little ab workout that you can do in the comfort of your own home. Don't need much of equipment, only your own body weight. And like Cindy says, work on it while the lights are out. When the lights come on,
you'll have your six-pack.
Have your six-pack. Love it. Thank you very much, Cindy. That's your exercise, bam, for your Monday morning right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh, man, I
cool
feel like
workout.
I have a six-pack just watching that. It's absolutely insane.
You feel like you have a
just watching that, I'm like, I can feel it. Listen, we call the next bunch of people Mandela Monday heroes because they're such an inspiration, an inspiring start to our week, but also that they do such great work of building our nation as if it was just an everyday Monday to Friday kind of thing.
So this week, we bring you the story of a man using the most basic form of golf to teach kids the most profound lessons about success, happiness, and life.
Known to many as a gentleman's sport, Thurlow Jansen uses the sport of golf to cultivate talent in Cape Town's communities, but not only in the communities, especially those who are less privileged. Soccer, rugby and cricket have much success in offering opportunities and life lessons to children from stressed communities. The sport of golf does the same, but with a more personal internal focus.
Thurlow, you started the golf initiative under the Heal the Hood organization to not only grow the sport in Cape Town, but to expose children from underprivileged areas to the sport. Can you tell us a little bit more about this passion?
I was 8 years old when I wanted to play this game, and nobody gave me the opportunity. In the late 20s I started playing, and it also by chance that somebody gave me the opportunity. I was at the golf course and then somebody said to me, would you like to play? And I said yes, and he said okay, go play. And then I played and came off and he like worried, what's it going to cost me? And then he said, look, just a smile on your face, payment enough. So ever since that, it's always stuck with me. In 1998, I did the first school. And from there, it just grew. And that's my passion. So, you know, I love the game. So that's what drives me to do what I'm doing.
You've reached over 150 schools with this initiative and countless children with that. What values do you hope this sport will instill in the children?
The value of this is because of the value of the core value of the sport, you know, honesty, integrity. It also teaches you discipline, and it also teaches that if you're prepared to work, then you will reap the benefits. And to the kids here, I've already told them last year that if you set a goal for yourself, the world is your oyster. It's up to you, and it's the circumstances that you live in doesn't make for who you are.
I find golf a wonderful sport. It keeps out of trouble and it takes me away from stress. I enjoy most of the lessons because it can bring me far in life.
I've been playing golf about a year and 2 months now, and it's very fun playing golf. Why I like playing golf is that you rest your mind and think about beautiful things, and most girls can do it. Girls can also show boys that they are better.
I've been playing golf a year and two months. I think about very good things, not of bad things, and my mind is very relaxed when I play golf. Mr. Jansen let us feel very comfortable while we're playing golf, and he is the best.
Through his LinkedIn profile, Thurlow fundraises to allow these children access to driving ranges, mashi courses, and ideally to get them 2 games of golf each month, 12 months a year.
This initiative is still very new. Where do you see it going?
I'm looking at taking it further, you know. Hopefully I can get people in America interested in an exchange program with the kids so they can go over there and see what the rest of the world is like. The idea is to grow it as much as possible.
So not too long ago, we also interviewed your brother, Emil Jansen, for his hip-hop component for Heal the Hood. This is something that clearly runs in the family. Why is it so important for you to share your values with those less privileged?
When we grew up, we had our father was coaching kids, and he did it for mobile for years. And we always wondered why. And then he says, you know what, you just see the smile on the child's face. You know, when you give him to do something, and he does it and he achieves that little goal that you gave him, and that's enough payment. So that is why we do it, because we love our communities.
To any golfer, pro shop, businessman, company or pro who wants to help even a little in sharing their love for the game, Thurlow Jansen and Heal the Hood Golf could use your help.
That's why Thurlow is our Mandela Monday hero, doing some incredible things with the youth.
Inspiring the nation. Speaking of youth, after the break, we take a look at how we are empowering our young people in the country through skills. That's coming up.
Awesome things. And then we also have the cast of Liva Lisa in studio. We're going to connect with them after the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it, your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, right here live on SABC3. Lots on the go to make you feel good on this Monday morning. We've got Dr. Eve coming up, but right now it's time for the news with Leanne.
Thank you so much, Tabiso. In the national news this morning, the process of retrieving 7 bodies from the Gloria coal mine in Middelburg and Mpumalanga is expected to get underway today. 7 bodies were discovered on Thursday, bringing the death toll to 12, and 15 others are still unaccounted for. Teams of workers have started to clear roads that were damaged by the heavy rains experienced in many parts of Bloemfontein over the past few days. On the international front, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has called for calm following a decision by the country's Electoral Commission to postpone the presidential election that would have taken place on Saturday. Voting will now take place on Saturday, the 23rd of February. President Donald Trump has declared a national emergency at the US-Mexico border after a stinging budget defeat. Trump is moving to secure more money for his long-promised wall by exercising a broad interpretation of his presidential powers that is certain to draw stiff legal challenges. And then finally, South African chef Kobus van der Merwe has been shortlisted for the inaugural World Restaurant Awards set to take place in Paris today. Van der Merwe's restaurant Wolfgat is located in the popular tourist town of Paternoster on the west coast. The restaurant is situated in a 130-year-old fisherman's cottage that was built in a historic cave called Wolfgat. The secret of the chef's success? Well, Kobus says there's an element of wild food on the menu. They go picking succulents, wild herbs and seaweed every morning, and they all end up somewhere on the menu, very seasonal. Chef Kobus is truly making waves in the international culinary world. May his reward today be a very scrumptious one. Well, from scrumptious news to scrumptious sport, let's get another taste of what's happening with Ewan.
Thank you so much, Leanne. To run you through the headlines of your biggest sporting stories from the weekend. Kusal Pereira unbeaten on 153 alongside last man Avisha Fernando, who managed the highest last wicket stand in a successful 4th innings chase in first-class cricket history to give Sri Lanka only their 2nd victory in 14 tests in South Africa and a 1-0 lead in the test series. The 2nd test begins on Thursday at St. George's Park. And beating the Stormers 43 at Loftus for the bonus point, the Bulls sent a massive statement under new coach Pothuman, with Roscoe Speckman stealing the show in his Super Rugby debut. Martinez Kuman scored 3 tries to see the Golden Lions defeat the Jaguares in Argentina for the first time in 25-16, and the debutants shone as the Sharks crushed the Sunwolves 45-10. And Manchester City powered into the FA Cup quarterfinals, beating 4th tier Newport County 4-1. Guardiola's side battled with the Petrova team 82 places below them in League 2, and after Padraig Amon's late goal cancelled out Sané's opener, Phil Foden netted a brace before Riyad Mahrez wrapped up the win, with David Silva pulling all the strings. Tonight, Chelsea welcome Manchester United to Stamford Bridge, and we'll bring you a more detailed report on those stories at the top of the hour.
Thank you, Ewan. Let's take a look at your roads once again. Starting off in Gauteng and Benoni. On the N12 westbound, there has been an accident before Tom Jones Street, obstructing the right lane. Please approach with caution. If you're in the Western Cape and Observatory, there is congestion on the N2 inbound between the R300 and Selborne Road. The average traveling speed there is 20 kilometers per hour, with delays up to 30 minutes. And off to the trains, there is an extended travel time of 15 to 20 minutes. That's on the Cape Flats line due to sets being out of service, as well as speed restrictions. Your next report will be at 8 o'clock.
Thank you, Tabiso. Well, let's take a look at your weather today, and we want to say a big thank you to Avril, who sent us this beautiful sunrise from Muizenberg in the Western Cape. Avril, today you can expect plenty of sunshine, some warm temperatures and a light breeze with a maximum of 25 degrees Celsius. On that note, let's look at the rest of the temperatures. Polokwane 14 with a high of 27. Mpumbela 15 reaching a high of 28. Partly cloudy in Pretoria, 29 is your high for today. Johannesburg 12 with a high of 26. If you're Mahikeng, 17 with a high of 30 can be expected. Klerksdorp 14 reaching a high of 30. Kimberley's 18, 34 rather. Bloemfontein 13 reaching a high of 30.
Richards Bay 18-26, Pietermaritzburg 13 with a high of 25. Partly cloudy conditions in Durban 19 reaching a high of 27. Mthatha 14 with a high of 26. East London 18 reaching a high of 26. Cradock 13-32, Port Elizabeth 18-25, George 18 reaching a high of 26, Sutherland 14 with a high of 30. Sunny conditions in Cape Town today, a high of 28. Worcester 15-35, Springbok 10-32, and Uppington 20 with a high of 38 degrees Celsius. We'll have a final update for you at 8 o'clock.
Right, now a rather interesting development, I can call it the National Development Plan, is aiming to produce 30,000 artisans each year by 2030. And this is really good news. Now, one of the organizations that is strongly aiding in reaching this goal is World Skills South Africa. And this they do through organizing various skills competitions at a provincial and national level, out of which a national team is selected to represent South Africa internationally every 2 years. Now, this year, the Olympics of Skills will be held in Kazan in Russia. And today with us in studio, we have the chair and vice chair of the Western Cape Provincial Artisan Development Committee, which oversees the rollout of World Skills SA competitions in the Western Cape, Ibrahim Peters and Tilly Reddy. Thank you very much for joining us on your Fuga Breakfast Show this morning. I love the story. I love the fact that we are looking and developing those skills, because we have so many talented individuals here in our own backyard. But I think first and foremost, could you tell us a bit more about what the Western Cape specifically is doing in terms of skills development?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. We may not be able to talk about the entire Western Cape, but we can certainly own in what the 6 public TVET colleges are doing. And the 6 public colleges are involved in setting up in the province the World Skills leg of the competition. And we work very closely with the Western Cape government, particularly the Department of Economic Development and Tourism. Work very closely with them because they assist with finances. The 6 colleges, public TVETs that involved is Northlink, Falls Bay College, West Coast College, the South Cape College, and then Boerland College. And also College of Cape Town, I mustn't forget, she's from that college. So those are the 6 colleges that are involved, and we work as a collective to organize the competitions in the Western Cape.
And I think it's a big goal, 30,000 artisans per year. That is the aim, that was what you guys are doing. So how is the actions of the Western Cape, Tilly, maybe you can take one, impacting on this particular goal, 30,000 artisans a year?
The Western Cape government is very instrumental in working with the TVET colleges, especially to focus on prioritizing vocational training and skills within the province. They actually prioritized these skill areas to make sure the colleges respond, and also to make sure that we create jobs and empower the disadvantaged to get opportunities in terms of artisan development. And one of the priorities is developing youth, and Western Cape government, together with the TVET colleges, focus on artisan development, and many initiatives within the province contribute towards ensuring that skills within the province are developed, and the game changer within the province. And they identified key priority areas like agro-processing, energy, information technology, and a few others within the province. So we, as TVET, 6 TVET colleges within the Western Cape, work very closely with the Economic Development, Department of Economic Development and Tourism, that bring about these initiatives to fruition.
Yeah, and I think it's fantastic because, I mean, here we're able to uncover real talent, you know, those people that maybe not have an opportunity, you know, to showcase what they are able to do and really pay it forward. Just quickly to touch on the actual competition, if somebody out there is watching and maybe they want to participate in this competition come next year, interested in taking part in 2021, I think that's the next one. How did we go about that?
The link is with the national department. They will advertise when the competitions take place.
Okay.
So the next one is in 2021, but we will already be preparing in 2020.
Yeah.
So you apply through the national system. They will indicate what skills areas you can apply for. You must be 22 years, can't be older than 22 years in the year of the competition.
Yeah.
So you can't be older than 22 in the year that it's happening.
Yeah.
I must tell young people it's a fantastic opportunity. They can't imagine taking part. It's almost like the Olympics that they're taking part. So whereas if you normally do athletics, you train pretty hard, but you only run for a couple of seconds and it's done. These youngsters under 21 participate in a very stressed environment, 3 days continuous where they have to perform. So it's quite heavy on these youngsters.
Absolutely, but once again, I think it's such a great one. I wish we had more time to unpack everything in its entirety, because it seems that there is really so much to get to them. But thank you very much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it. But I mean, there you have it. This year's installment of the World Skills Competition will be taking place this August in Russia, with 1,300 people from more than 70 countries competing across 50 skills. And if you want to log on, you want to find more competition, the link is on the screen, worldskillsa.dhet.gov.za. That's where you can find it.
Oh, well, listen, it's a gorgeous morning outside. We're about to take a quick break, go refill those coffee cups, because load shedding, it is real, and we are talking how to protect your technology and your tech during load shedding after the break.
Exactly. And then talking about load shedding, we need to make those load shedding friendly recipes, and we're going to be making a delicious vegan satay raw vegetable salad. All that and more is coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh, welcome back, and the lights are still on. Whew,
Yeah.
we are lucky
Sigh of
today.
relief.
For now. And you know what, load shedding, it is back, and there's nothing worse than your computer suddenly switching off when you haven't even saved that document yet. You're busy with it, you're typing it up, but you could lose more than just your school or your varsity or your work assignment if you're not careful with your hardware during power cuts. Now, Brian Smith, he joins us in studio to explore some simple ways that you can keep your tech safe the next time that load shedding strikes.
Brian, always good to have you here, but let's start with the very obvious, yeah? What sort of tech and gadgets and appliances should we unplug before load shedding even happens?
Definitely, and let's preface all of this by saying, you know, let's hope that the lights stay on this week.
Yeah.
However, with appliances from, you know, your conventional appliances at home, from fridges to dishwashers, for example, all the way to smart devices such as your laptops or smartphones, a generally good rule of thumb is to unplug everything if you know load shedding is about to occur.
Okay.
Specifically with appliances and some other forms of electronics such as desktop computers, most rely on something called vampire power, which isn't as esoteric or strange as it sounds. Essentially, that means that it's having a low current of electricity flow through it, even when it appears off. So generally, it's a good idea to turn this off to prevent a power surge from affecting various internal components, depending what device you're talking about.
Well, I think also what affects a lot of people is load shedding happens in their areas while they're at work. So your fridge is not something you can put off because the schedule said it might happen or not. Now, I know power surges is also, it can damage a lot of your appliances, your devices at home. What kind of safeguard measurements can we put in place to prevent that?
Yeah. There are a couple, fortunately. So perhaps the most commonly thought of thing on the market is something called a surge protector, which essentially regulates the amount of electricity flowing through a socket, for example. What that essentially means is that if there's a sudden spike in electricity, which can occur in a number of milliseconds, it can regulate and prevent that surge from affecting various internal components or otherwise damaging your equipment. A great idea is to buy a power bank, for example, with up to 7 sockets with a surge protector, which will enable you to turn off and secure multiple devices at once. Broadly, however, there are a number of other things you can do that can secure your work. For example, you can switch over to 3G or cellular internet, depending if your cellular provider isn't affected by load shedding itself, to keep your work going. And then additionally, you can always back up your data to ensure that your latest assignment is always securely stored on the internet.
Now, I've heard this sort of UPS going around. What is UPS and how can we make use of it in our homes?
Definitely. So when we tend to think of batteries, we might think of a laptop or smartphone battery, which can last for a number of hours. A UPS is slightly different, so that stands for uninterrupted power supply. And what this essentially is a piece of hardware that stores an electrical current and it works for about 20 minutes to an hour, depending on the model. It essentially allows you to finish all of your work and ensure a safe shutdown on an appliance or smart device that you're using rather than lose any work.
Okay, so this can be used at home. It's not just for offices.
Yes.
Oh,
I love that. Some great tips and tricks coming through from Brian Smith this morning. And of course, if you have any comments or questions around load shedding or when it comes to technology, you can always let us know on Facebook. You can head on over there with that hashtag Expresso Show. But Brian, thank you so much for joining us this morning. There we go.
Now, with the rollout of load shedding in South Africa moving intermittently between stages 2 and 4, a phase that could last until April, sadly, South Africans are facing some really difficult situations when it comes to keeping themselves and their families well-fed, safe, as well as entertained. Well, we have compiled a load shedding kit so that you can survive these dark and powerless times.
You know why I like load shedding at night?
Why?
Because I get to braai. When there's
I
load
thought
shedding,
you were gonna say something
I just
else.
braai. No, it's fun. It's like just like you know, you don't do it during the week really, or I don't because I'm so busy. But now there's load shedding. We're like, let's braai.
Braai
Anyways,
24/7, 365.
all the time. That's
and
what
on
it comes
Meat-Free
down
Monday,
to.
what are you going to braai?
Hey, veggie patties. What else? Huh? Come now.
Just
Butternuts on the braai. Listen, so here's a couple of things that we found that you can just kind of do. Maybe beforehand. Let's start with that. Before load shedding happens, what you need to do. Prepare for load shedding by keeping all your devices charged and pre-packing some meals as well. And when the power goes out unexpectedly, switch off and unplug all appliances to protect them from a power surge when it returns. Protecting your devices is key.
Exactly. Well, also stock up enough candles and matches, but please be aware of fire hazards. So not to light near flammable items and keep out of the reach of young ones as well.
Exactly. Then, emergency power failure bulbs that kick in when the lights go out are also very, very handy, as well as battery-operated torch lights and, of course, torches as well. Just have them around. You know where they are when the power goes out. You can just grab for them.
Got to be prepared. Now, when it comes to those hot showers, investing in a geyser controller helps you pre-program your geyser to heat prior to load shedding, and this can save around 50% of your heating costs.
I've actually never heard of that
That's
device.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that. Then, what happens during? How do you keep yourself entertained? So here's one thing. The most obvious thing is to reach for, to entertain yourself, maybe your kids, even as a device for movies, a portable console for gaming, something like that. But put those down because, you can really get some quality time in. If it's still light outside, you can play, I don't know, dress up, with a family, whatever, exercise, go for a walk with the kids and also the dogs and your partner. That could be nice. Or perhaps have some alone time, while the kids playing outside, you and your partner can have some much needed alone time. Candles. Ooh, exactly. Carry on. Yours is next. Carry on. Go on. Ooh. No, you can go. Come on.
You go.
I'm not going to go. This is your one.
Wow, for the indoor group activity. Please go. Please.
I gotta go.
Oh, okay, well, for the indoors, group activities like card and board games, charades, 20 questions, or storytellings can make for some light-hearted memories. You can also get the household productive and do some cleaning or some DIY projects that you haven't found time to do. Just clean in the dark. Clean, sweep.
So solo activities like reading, writing, arts and crafts even, or even much needed a nap could also, again, a nap, speed some time up. Well, if you are well truly in the dark, building a pillow fort to go camping indoors can make this space really exciting as well. And you can entertain yourselves by making shadow puppets on the walls, as well as playing a ring dance with glow sticks.
Well, in summary, know when the electricity will cut out. That's the most important thing. There are a few apps and sites out there that list the schedule, so grab everything you need to survive so that you aren't caught unaware.
You can't caught.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
You never want to be caught unaware.
No, never. Never. You want to be ready.
Exactly.
You want to be ready. Think there are any load shedding survival tips that we missed? I mean, why don't you guys connect with us? You can let us know on our social media pages using that hashtag Expresso Show. At Expresso Show is where it's at. Well done for getting through that. That was amazing.
Ah, man. Well, we're still hanging out with DJ and producer extraordinaire Cassim here. And usually you are in Cassim's kitchen, but today you're on the Expresso kitchen. We're going to be showing you how to prepare some meals that'll take less than 20 minutes to make. But these are not just any meals. These are meals you make when the power cuts off. So it's to make sure, because usually what happens is when the power goes off, you think, oh, my word, what am I going to eat? And, I'm hungry, I'm starving, I'm going to die. But this is a meal you can make, a raw satay dish that'll be easy to make when there is no power without the use of electricity or gas, right?
It's also a vegan noodle dish that we're making, so it's great for meat-free Mondays. And you know what, Carl? The thing in the kitchen is the biggest joke that I can't cook. So the fact that I'm showing you how to put a recipe together is just proof of how quick and easy this recipe is.
Yeah.
It's not scary. So as you can see, we have our ingredients here in front of us. We've got some carrots that's been slithered. We've got some red cabbage. We've got some spring onions, some sesame. We've got some fresh coriander as well as edamame beans. That's right. They're not my favorite, but I do love them in a dish. So we're going to start it off with adding our carrots. You know what? I'm actually going to put you to work.
Okay.
So next up, can you add our red cabbage for us? So the whole idea is just to add it all together. There you go.
Oh, you brought me there.
Carl, you've done this lots of times. You've done this lots of times. Now.
And the beauty is the different colors. I love eating with different colors on my plate, whether it's in my bowl. You can mix it up
With a bit of a mix, yeah.
I'm going to add our edamame beans.
The decanted ones.
The decanted ones, there we go.
You can tell a lot about a man by the way he carries himself in the kitchen, especially when mixing stuff together in the bowl, right?
What can you tell about a man?
Just his level of skill in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
Just like if he knows what he's doing.
Adding our spring onion.
Yep, that's what I'm trying to say, basically.
Let's add a little bit of the coriander. It's a very pungent, it's got a very strong flavor. There we go. We're not all fans of it. We'll add a little bit more. There we go. And then, of course, our sesame seeds in there.
What's this?
Okay, so that's our rice noodles, and its actual name is actually
vermicelli.
There we go.
I've got you, don't worry.
There we go. There we go. And what's great about this is, even during load shedding, you can just soak it in cold water, and eventually you'll be left off with
these noodles.
That's your cue.
Vermicelli.
There we go. Rice noodles.
Vermicelli.
There we go. Yeah. So we're going to add it in here, in fact. Let's add some of it in here and mix it all together.
You're going to do some work now.
There we go. You can give that a good little stir, and then Tabiso, I'm going to put you to work by instructing you how to make the satay.
Okay,
so you're just going to add, we've got some coconut milk over there. Yeah. We've got soy sauce, some peanut butter, and some sweet chili sauce. Let's move the bowl for you. And a little bit of water. So start off with our coconut milk. Add that. Add the soy sauce.
Coconut milk in there.
There we go. Add the soy sauce.
Soy sauce.
Give it a good mix.
In there.
Some peanut butter and sweet chili sauce.
Sweet chili sauce. If you want the link to this recipe, SMS dish to 33728. Dish to 33728. We'll send you the link and show you how you can make this yourself.
There we go. So now give that a good mix. If it's a bit too thick, add a little bit of water. And then, Carl, I'm going to ask you to please dish up some of our amazing raw vegan noodles.
I thought you were going to say, please stop messing in my kitchen.
It's okay. You're a lot better than what I'm at.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
There's a DJ in the kitchen.
So you can just give it a generous portion in there. There we go. Look at that rice noodle.
There we go.
There we go. That looks good.
I know, it looks amazing.
Add
Look at those
a little
colours.
more. You know, on TV we was
Yeah. So how often do you actually cook, Cal?
So, you want the honest truth?
The honest truth, because you obviously are always cooking on Cassim's kitchen, but is that a real life thing? Do you do it as well at home, or?
You know, when I used to stay with my folks, I used to cook a lot for them.
Yeah.
And then when I moved out by myself, I started off by buying every possible piece of cutlery. You know, you get very extra and you buy like all the fancy knives we were talking about earlier.
Give it a nice little drizzle. That looks good, Tabiso.
I'm really good at this.
Well done. So the chef prepared that one. This is the one we obviously prepared. So which one would you like to try?
You know what? By giving you the benefit of the doubt, that one.
Get in there, but of course, if you would love to make this dish yourself, our keyword this morning is dish. That's D-I-S-H. SMS that to
And there's a
33728.
90% chance that I'm going to mess with myself.
It's okay, you can lift the ball.
All right.
And then that's your ball to keep.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Okay, we're going to try
Give it to us. Give it to us.
So what do we call this meal?
This is a raw satay vegan noodle. That's the name. And it's perfect to make during load shedding.
And how's
like
that?
it? That's now your ball.
How is it? How is it? How is it?
He loves
Delicious. Under 20 minutes, under 5 minutes actually, you can make this perfect. I'm glad you like it.
That was very good.
Okay, we're going to enjoy this together during the break. Yeah, I'm going to have a taste. Let's take a quick break. After the break, lots more Feel Good coming through. Dr. Eve is going to be joining us at some point this morning talking relationships. How do you get that spark in during, maybe not during load shedding, but
well,
how
hey,
do you
there's
keep
lots
the
you can
spark
do during
going?
load shedding.
Yeah, there is lots. Dr.
We'll
Eve
see you
will
after
tell
the
us.
break.
Really?
Clover Crush. 100% pure fruit juice packed with vitamins and no added sugar. Crush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to it, your Feel Good Breakfast Show. You have chosen to wake up on the right side of bed. Thank you so much for choosing to wake up with us this morning. The cast of Leave Lisa, they join us a little bit later on in the show. But right now, let's check in with the news.
Thank you so much, Tabiso. The process of retrieving 7 bodies from the Gloria coal mine in Middelburg and Mpumalanga is expected to get underway today. 7 bodies were discovered on Thursday, bringing the death toll to 12, and 15 others are still unaccounted for. Teams of workers have started to clear roads that were damaged by the heavy rains experienced in many parts of Bloemfontein over the last few days. On the international front, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has called for calm following a decision by the country's electoral commission to postpone the presidential election that would have taken place on Saturday. Voting will now take place on Saturday, the 23rd of February. President Donald Trump has declared a national emergency at the US-Mexico border after a stinging budget defeat. Trump is moving to secure more money for his long-promised wall by exercising a broad interpretation of his presidential powers that is certain to draw stiff legal challenges. And then finally, concerned Cape Town residents have mobilized spontaneously to refill a completely dried up dam in Brackenfell to benefit local bird species. The dam in Vredekkloof is home to dozens of ducks and other water birds and is also a well-known greenbelt and park area for residents. Social media was used to spread the word about efforts to save the dam, and it paid off. On Saturday morning, trucks filled with much-needed borehole water arrived at the dam to the delight of residents and their feathered friends. Nearly 500,000 litres was donated, water that is, and will now ensure that the ducks and rabbits and other water birds will enjoy a water-filled home until the arrival of the much-needed winter rains. What a feel-good story indeed. Time for us to take another look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Ewan.
Thank you so much, Leanne. Let's quickly take a last look at your sport headlines on your Monday morning. Cristal Pereira unbeaten on 153 alongside last man Visha Fernando, who managed the highest last wicket stand in a successful fourth innings chase in first-class cricket history to give Sri Lanka only their second victory in 14 tests in South Africa and a 1-0 lead in the test series. The second test begins on Thursday at St. George's Park. And beating the Stormers 43 at Loftus for the bonus point, the Bulls sent a massive statement under new coach Poet Human, with Roscoe Speckman stealing the show in his Super Rugby debut. Marnus Kuman scored 3 tries to see the Golden Lions defeat the Jaguares in Argentina for the first time 25-16, and the debutants shone as the Sharks crushed the Sunwolves 45-10. And Manchester City powered into the FA Cup quarter-finals, beating fourth-tier Newport County 4-1. Guardiola's side battled with the pitch of a team 82 places below them in the League Two, and after Padraig Amon's late goal cancelled out Sane's opener, Phil Foden netted a brace before Riyad Mahrez wrapped up the win with David Silva pulling all the strings. Tonight, Chelsea welcome Manchester United to Stamford Bridge. As we leave your sport on your Monday morning, let's quickly take a last look at your roads.
Thank you, Ewan. Let's take a final look at your traffic this morning. Starting off in Gauteng and Rosettenville on the N12 westbound, there has been a multi-vehicle accident before the Gululi's interchange, obstructing a lane. Please do approach that area with caution. In the Western Cape, Belleville, sorry about that, there is congestion on the N1 inbound at Durban Road. Please be patient on the roads, please, this morning. And off to the trains. The T0129 train from Cape Town to Retreat on the Southern Line is cancelled. This is due to sets out of service. Please allow for extra travel time. That's where we leave your traffic for this morning. Zoe with the weather.
Well, thank you, Tabiso. And here is a quick and final look at the weather. And also a big thank you to the beautiful sunrise photos that's been coming through. Mapundi sent us this grey skyline from Polokwane. Charlotte for your beautiful sunrise picture from Coffee Bay in the Eastern Cape. And lastly, Avril, thank you for your amazing sunrise from Muizenberg. Here's a final look at the temperatures. Polokwane 14 with a high of 27, Mbombela 15, 28, Pretoria 14, 29, Johannesburg 12 with a high of 26, Mahikeng 17 reaching a high of 30, Klerksdorp 14 with a high of 30, Kimberley 18, 34, Bloemfontein 13 reaching a high of 30, Richards Bay 18, 26, Pietermaritzburg 13, 25, Durban 1927, Mthatha 14 with a high of 26, East London 1826, Cradock 1332. If you're in Port Elizabeth today, 18 with a high of 25 can be expected. George 18 with a high of 26. It's sunny in Sutherland with a high of 30, Cape Town 1828, Worcester 1535, Springbok 10 with a high of 32, and Uppington 20 reaching a high of 38 degrees Celsius. And that's where we leave your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Alrighty, thank you very much, Zoe. We're getting your Monday off to a good start. Taking a look at your social media, we asked you to guess who the celebrity is in question this morning. Gave you a few clues. She is a South African rapper and poet known for performing in her native language of Xitsonga, and she's recently released a short film as well, Trick Short, with tracks from her album. Can you guess who the person is? We've got a picture of her there. There we go. Yeah, could you guess? I mean, I wouldn't be able to guess if I just saw that. But the clues were pretty good, and you got guessing. And here's Siyabonga Elia saying, Shoma Josie, Wakanda forever. Hashtag Expresso. Shireen David says, Shoma Josie. Kulufelo Teledi says, Shoma Josie. Bonga Magungubalana says, Shoma Josie, lovely and beautiful lady. As well as Asanda Jonka saying, Shoma Josie. And, well, the answer is, Shoma Josie. Yeah, yeah. Hashtag Expresso Show.
Uncle Taba, love it, man. Listen, right now, let's focus on proudly South African movies. We love it. Now, when a young man on the precipice of the rest of his life turns away from it all because of the mistakes he has made with the woman he loves, he meets a simple fisherman on his journey. And little do either of them actually know that they're about to change each other's lives. Quickly take a look at the movie. We'll chat about it just now. All right, so we don't have the uptime for it right now. We go into it. Lieve Lisa is a brand new film that released on Valentine's Day, very romantic, written, directed, and also starring actor Hendrik Cronje. And it's a coming-of-age drama produced with his brother Johan, which is a very, very special, I think, engagement that they entered into. And they both joined Expresso this morning to share more about what went into making that particular film. I would love to see the clip. Apparently, we didn't have it. Hendrik, Johan, thank you very much for joining us, man. Good to have you guys. This is interesting. Hendrik, transition, you being solely in front of the camera, now you behind the camera, you directing, you telling your fellow actors what to do and how to go about things. What was that transition like, man? Because we obviously know you, got to know you well on Seven Line as your role, but now you're stepping into a different light.
Yeah, it's strange to be an actor in a scene and then you have to direct, because then you feel like I'm an actor as well, but now I have to tell you what to do. So that's kind of difficult, but at the end of the day, I'm just into getting the shots. Yeah. And get the best as possible. Yeah, and I always think about this. What is it like to direct yourself? Because here it's you directing you. Yeah, the work goes in beforehand. Yeah. So when I get on set, I'm so prepared. I'm not really directing myself. I'm just, I've done the preparation. You get into it, man. Look, from the visuals, it looks stunning. Johan, I need to ask you this. From what I understand, this is your first time on a film set. I mean, how did it feel as a true athlete yourself, stepping into the shoes of an actor for the first time when Hendrik, asked you to do this?
Yeah, it was my first time ever on a set, so I didn't know what to expect. But with the sport, I was used to all the adrenaline always. You go into a race or you prepare for a race and then you have that adrenaline that push you through. The same thing happens with filmmaking. There's so much adrenaline that wakes you up in the morning, takes you through the day, and you go to the next day. Actually, you just run the whole time. And I think it's incredible, man. Well done for stepping in that shoes. It's a big thing, and it also subsequently led to starting your own production company. So the whole idea is not just to make one film, and because we both took a lot of like a big risk making this. Yeah. We didn't have big funders or studios behind us, so this is work. This basically it's his script. It's everything that he creatively put into this, but he's been writing for a couple of years now. So there's a couple of scripts lying, which we might after this pitch to some studios, if you can put it that way. And hopefully we can just continue making more films. Unbelievable. Cronje Compagnie. Yeah. Listen out for that name, man. Let's talk about the movie itself. Hendrik, run me through what is this movie about? Give us a bit of an idea what we can expect. Well, it's about a guy who's got this big future ahead of him, just actually following the steps of life. And then he just realizes there's got to be more, because a lot of people just go through life, you go through the stages, and then at 40, 50, you kind of wake up and you're like, was that my life? And he kind of realized he needs to make that change now, otherwise he's going to be on that path. And with that uncertainty, he made a couple of mistakes and had a little bit of an affair with someone he wasn't supposed to, and then he fell in love with Lisa. Yeah, yes. But can I just mention that there wasn't cheating in this film. So I see a lot of Facebook comments that they're tired of cheating. Yeah, no, it's no cheating. There's no cheating or this. Yeah, just mistakes that happened before. Yeah. But it really looks like a heartfelt story. That's not a real beard, is it? It is. Is it a real beard? Is it a beard? No, we put in everything. I decided I'm not cutting that beard until we start to shoot this film. So, a lot of people were glad when we started, because that was actually it's at the end of the film, but we shot that first, obviously, so I can cut my beard. Yes. That's amazing. Gentlemen, congratulations. Well done on your first big project like this. And I wish you guys many, many happy movies going ahead, man. Thank you. Keep me in mind. I'm just saying, don't miss the new coming-of-age drama. It's a film about love and loss, Lieve Lisa, which you can see in selected cinemas nationwide as well. It opened on Valentine's Day. Well done, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, still to come on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, we're naturally chatting about relationships and what is happening between... What's going on here? Today, Princess. Over that side, my love. Random act of kindness. A bit of relief for the Queen. So you're going to be making Princess a cup of coffee. Yeah. Wow, we're celebrating random acts of kindness. A cappuccino.
Stand over there, I'll make it for you. Sure thing.
Princess getting a cappuccino. Yes, girl. Well, still to come on our Feel Good Breakfast show is we're chatting relationships with Dr. Eve. And if your relationship has experienced a little bit of a fizzle, it's all about how to bring the spark right back. Just like Tabiso's brought to his relationship with Princess.
That's right. Also still coming up, all the couples that tied their knot out in Robben Island last week. You get to see that after the break. Well, just might as well just do this, right? Thank you.
Have you found the one? Try the new McCafe strawberries and cream frappe and enjoy a little moment of lovin'.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. You're tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso right here on SABC3. So good to be hanging out with you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Now, time for some relationship chats. Yes. Now, we just celebrated, of course, Valentine's Day this past Thursday. And all the declarations of love and gifts and trips and dinners and surprises may have made you fall right back in love with your partner. But if you have been together for a while, sometimes these one-off occasions are not enough to remind you why you have made a commitment to this particular person.
Exactly. So today we're asking the question, do you feel like your relationship's spark has died, has fizzled out? And then how do you reignite and ensure that you stay happy with each other for so much longer? Our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, is in the building to help us discuss this hot topic, and our lines are officially open. You can give us a call on 021-430-9881 with your questions, your comments, and we would love to engage with you. Of course, you can remain anonymous, but this is a safe space for us to just talk about things that you usually wouldn't be able to talk about with none other than our beloved Dr. Eve. Good morning.
Hello, Dr. Eve. I haven't spoken about relationships for ages, but we're here now.
We're here now. We're together. So exciting. All right.
Yeah. So reigniting, yes, Dr. Eve. We hear that reigniting the spark. You know, I think couples in a long relationship, you know, all turn towards that. You know, can we? Is it possible? For the sake of today's argument, let's start right off. Is it possible to reignite that spark?
Can we start with the word spark, Ewan?
Spark, yes. Let's start with spark.
I mean, what does spark even bring up? It's like, woo! Right?
Yeah.
It's like,
there's that feeling here.
You know, Kat went straight into the gut last week as well. It's that feeling. Spark means that there is this excitement that goes on. But you know what happens to spark?
Fizzles.
fizzles, burns out quickly. So what we want...
It's sad. It's like the sparkles we put on the cakes in the mornings. You see it, and then what?
And then how do we feel?
Yeah.
Enormous disappointment.
Yeah.
And then we just feel angry and we feel sad. And what do? We just cheat.
Yeah.
Because we want that spark back again outside the relationship. So we're looking today at how do we actually keep something, and I don't like the word spark as you can hear. I like a slow burn instead of like a fizzle. Yeah. How do we maintain a relationship where we feel happy and satisfied and it feels alive? So we want to be able to invest into ourselves primarily. That's kind of the number one, that's the bottom line of what I want to teach people today, is that the only way to have an interesting relationship is to be an interesting person. Otherwise, it gets dull, it gets boring, and we then say, okay, I'm done, I'm out of here. I also want us to really consider what we expect from relationships today, because I think we've set the bar way too high, and I like high bars, but we're not investing sufficiently to maintain that high bar. So we say, okay, I want this person to be my lover, my provider, my companion, my friend, my mentor, my co-parent. I want them to be everything. But actually, am I spending a lot of time investing in this relationship and investing in myself so that I remain somebody who will spark the interest of my partner all the time? And the answer is, I don't know, you phone up and tell us, are you investing to maintain a relationship that is an interesting relationship that maintains your attention all the time?
I love that. Well, our lines are officially open. It all is about investment. But what I want to know is what contributes to that feeling of the spark fizzling out and dying? And do you feel like your relationship spark has died? How do you reignite it and ensure that you stay happy with each other? Our lines are open, so please do give us a call. 021-430-9881 is the number to dial.
Oh, well, listen, there were fireworks going off on 14th of February. That was last week's Thursday, because there was a lot of excitement, not only here in studio, but also at the Nelson Mandela Gateway at the V&A Waterfront.
Yeah, and we took it from the Gateway at Waterfront all the way to Robben Island, where 12 couples, instead of saying, I do, said, we do. And the cameras were there to capture it all. Have a look. Most couples on their wedding day come together to say, I do, but not the ones you're going to see today. They've decided to use a World Heritage site to say, we do. It's the annual Robben Island Mass Weddings.
These 12 couples are continuing the now 18-year-long tradition of congregating in the small Garrison Church on the 14th of February to celebrate their nuptials in one of the most unique ways.
Well, this is a campaign that we run on a yearly basis. It's been going on for 18 years. It's a campaign that we've been running with the Department of Home Affairs that we're very grateful for. And it is actually quite poignant that it comes at this time with our 20th celebration as a World Heritage Site. There's always been life taking place at Robben Island. And this is just one of those pictures that shows that in the middle of all the challenges, you know, our slogan is the triumph of the human spirit against all adversary. And marriage is one of those things. And that's the powerful thing about the celebration that we're having this year. A lot goes behind organizing this kind of an event. There's a lot of putting things together, catering, there's transport to get everybody here. There are even challenges around the weather, which you cannot predict. Remember, in the minds of the people that are getting married, they want to do it on Robben Island. And you always keep your fingers crossed to make sure that weather acts up. And today we're having a very, very nice weather. The sea is calm. There's no wind. It's nice and sunny. So we're quite grateful.
The mass weddings are hosted and also made possible by the Department of Home Affairs, a centre in which the diversity of South Africans is widely recognised and celebrated with the range of acts under which partners can get married in this country.
On this Valentine's Day, we are also celebrating with South Africans
who went to this historic site at Robben Island. We started this about 2000, and from today we have had already more than 290 couples getting married in that island through this program. It is now Island Museum, a place of love, and the change from that place of misery during the apartheid years, which then reflected this triumph of the human spirit of adversities. We do this to encourage, because there are different types of unions which have had there. We have got the normal civic union, we have got the amendment of the unions where we allow same-sex marriages in line with our constitution. And we also, over years, have recognized those who are in traditional or cultural marriages. So those are the things we are encouraging.
Cupid couldn't possibly create any more love than what was present on Robben Island that day, and each couple has a beautiful journey that has led them down the aisle of love, like Marcia Jumad and Rosanna Julius, who are the first same-sex couple to be married during this annual mass marriage.
Okay, it started 10 years ago when she was only 19 years old. We were both working at McDonald's that time. 4 years ago, she only asked me to date her. And then 2 years ago, she asked me actually to marry her.
Well, I proposed to her. It was on the 3rd of March at Blauwhoek Beach. It was a very windy day, so we were walking up and down. I was still coming from work. And she was like, no, let's go to the car and go home because it's too windy. And then I was like, no, let's take one more walk up. So I raised the car to ask her. And then eventually I just asked and she said yes.
We were on the beach walking up and down. I was so tired because we walked like 1,000,000 miles. And then only I said, okay, yes.
Expresso spoke with Ndakwazi Baki and Nhlanhla Nhlapo on our live show before they set off for the island, and they are glowing now that their nuptials are official.
We feel so much happy. Now that it's done, it's a beautiful day, nice venue, nice music, nice ceremony. It's on top of the world. Couldn't be better.
I am excited, of course. I've been waiting for this moment. Finally, I am officially Mrs. Mahlaba.
Another special day of mass marriages has come to an end, with all these beautiful couples all looking forward to long and lasting happy relationships and futures with each other. Well, who knows? Next year, maybe you might be one of the lucky few who get to share in the special moments out on Robben Island.
Fizzling and sizzling relationship taking place on Valentine's Day, hey?
I love it. I love it.
Yes, but it is now Monday, and we are talking about relationships once again. And today, our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, is in the hot seat to help us discuss how to reignite that relationship spark if it feels like it has fizzled out. Now, our lines are open, so do call us with your question or comments, 02143098881. Like Leanne said earlier, you can remain anonymous, and we really want to engage with you. This is a safe space. Dr. Eve, again, welcome. Nice to have you.
Thank you. Dr. Eve, what are those things that contribute to the feeling of that spark fizzling?
Yeah.
And if you are in that position where you're right now, you're like, I don't necessarily feel like we have that anymore, how does one get it back?
I don't think you can ever, I know you can't ever get that initial spark back. And that's why I said at the beginning, Leanne, that one shouldn't strive towards that.
Yeah.
That's never going to happen. And then you live in a constant state of disappointment.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when people go on Tinder or on Grindr dates and you immediately want to feel that spark. And what I always say to him is just linger a little longer. Do a few dates with this person so that you actually find that there are things that I have in common. So what happens in relationships, why they lose that thing called spark, is that we spend time in relationship maintenance, the domesticity of relationship, the things that we have to do, caring for children, making sure that the dishwasher is unpacked, and just the basic things of money management, the things that are quite drudgy. Instead of focusing on relationship development, that would keep things feeling alive and exciting, and I would want to be there, because not only are you developing as an individual person, but you're also developing relationship goals.
Let's quickly take a quick call. We have a caller on the line. Anonymous, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your question or comment for Dr. Eve this morning?
My comment is that you don't really need money or fancy things to keep the spark alive. You need to do little things for your husband, like carrying something or assisting or just making him a simple meal or courting one another. That is what I do, and I'm married for 36 years.
Wow.
There hasn't been one day that there hasn't been any spark.
Whoa!
That's amazing.
Fly all the time. My husband and myself, we believe that we should spoil one another, even though if there's no money.
Yeah.
There's little things there that we can do for each other.
I love that.
That's beautiful.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you
It
so
brings me back to
much.
something that you said earlier,
Yeah.
Dr. Eve. You should strive towards that slow burn.
Exactly.
In your relationship.
And you know, I mean, what the anonymous caller says is so true. And we think that if we give or make grand gestures of like we're going to, here is a big present, or we're going to have one holiday. But what happens in those gestures, and also in those gestures, is there a maintaining of the spark? I don't think so, because you get the gift and it's like, oh, this is fun, and then it's gone. It doesn't bring intimacy. And what she's saying is that every day, affection, acknowledgement, appreciation.
Yeah.
So one way to maintain this thing called spark is through honesty. This is what the research shows. If we're actually raw and honest with somebody and let them know, this is what my needs are, then we're able to tune in and make sure that this person feels seen and heard. And that makes us feel intimate. And when you feel intimate with somebody, you want to spark together, as in being sexual together. And the more you are sexual together, the more intimate you can feel. And the more you're going to feel that we have a relationship that is really thriving. So sexuality is a big part of our relationships as well.
Wow.
When we come back, I want to ask another question. If you feel that the spark in your relationship has fizzled out, one, do you approach your partner and ask, or two, do you just start acting it from your own and try and rectify it from your own side? I mean, how do you approach that? Exactly. We'll chat about that. 021 430 9881. That's our phone line. Our lines are open. Please call us if you want to partake in this conversation with Dr. Eve. It is a safe space, like you heard. You can remain anonymous. We'll continue that conversation after the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. We're chatting relationships as we do every single Monday, and we're talking about that spark. Is that spark still in your relationship, in your feelings, or has it fizzled out? You can give us a call, 021 430 9881. Before we left for the break, we asked about whether or not you feel like that spark has left the relationship. How do you broach that subject with a partner that you feel it's just not there with anymore?
It's a tough one, because you think you can't go like, baby, I'm sorry to say, but I feel like after 10 years together, our spark has died. So what now? I don't think you can do that.
I agree with you.
It's a very normal situation. Hey?
Yeah. Again, we come back to what you're expecting from the spark. But I think really what people mean by that is that intimacy has died. I feel disconnected from you. and I feel like I want more, because I always like to work on the positivity. So I would say, I'm really wanting more from you. I'm really wanting more intimacy. I'm wanting more sexual activity. I'm wanting more challenge with you.
Yeah. Here's something that I hear a lot.
Yeah.
When people become... they're now offended that the spark is gone, and you usually get things like, you don't do this anymore.
Exactly.
You don't do that anymore. You don't take me out like you used to. You don't bring me flowers. It's like, you don't.
There you go. Instead of taking responsibility. So I wouldn't go to a person and say, the spark is gone. I would say, this is what I'm needing. This is where I feel neglected. These are things I really enjoy that you give me. And these are things I want to do. So one of the things that we know add this thing called spark is adventures, when couples challenge themselves together. So travel is like a really good example around that, because you have to kind of cling on to each other. You're in a foreign place, you don't know anybody else, and you're forced to communicate, which is what couples are not doing. They communicate about, as I said, the daily maintenance of a relationship. But here you really are challenged. And if you hear people, they say they feel sparky, meaning they're much more sexual and interested in each other when they travel. Or they go away for a weekend, which is why people plan to do that. You can't do that every day. We can't afford to go and do that even once a year. Some people can't afford that. So every day, how do we bring in that sense of what challenge are we going to plan for ourselves?
But that's great in a situation where two people identify that it is gone. What if you feel like your partner is going to be offended by the fact that you say we are no longer the way we used to be, or that they're so comfortable in this new normal when you're trying to bring it back? What do you do?
Well, first of all, you're not going to bring it back. You want to elevate it to a different
place, but you just want something again.
Yeah, you want to, but there's the important thing, and I saw what you're doing. You want to feel something again, and you look into the relationship to feel something again. I come back to my point, is that you have to make sure, each one of us, that we find passion in our own worlds. So we come back, and then we become interesting and attractive to the other person, because we're investing in ourselves first. Otherwise, you just become familiar, you stop seeing each other, you stop looking at each other, you go into this place instead of, I'm excited, I'm taking on a new challenge in myself. So I find you attractive, which means that, let me just tell you, and to tell our viewers, something really simple to do. I do it a lot with my couples, is to play a game, to do a quiz, is to make a time where you sit with each other, it could be a date night, whatever it is, and ask each other some questions. Check in with each other, like, what is your favorite color? What's the flower you like the most? Who's your best friend now? What music are you listening to? What are you reading? What politics are you interested in? What do you fear? What are you dreaming about? What are things that you really long for? Sit down and ask basic questions, and you will find that suddenly, first of all, you're looking at each other, you're eye-gazing, and there's an interest that you didn't know about the other person. You didn't know about them. And that makes you feel closer. And therefore, you want to be sexual. It feels kind of hot to be doing that.
Sure. There's a lot to think about. And there's obviously it comes through as to it's the way that you approach this fizzled out spark that's very, very important, because you want to keep it a positive space. You don't want to keep it a negative space. Like, you know what, you used to do this, but now you don't. Why? You know, so it's difficult. But interesting, you put a poll up just quickly on Twitter before we go. You have date nights. You said there, how can you put the spark back into your relationship? Do you join? And then we have date nights. So 38%. That's a big one. People tend to think date nights. You're not a big fan of a date night.
No.
Next one, frequent sex. 29%. That's another big one as well.
And I put infidelity on as well. How many did that get you?
13%.
13%. And interesting, making yourself interesting is
19%.
Right. So people are still looking to the relationship to bring them spark. You've got to take responsibility, and you don't solve it by infidelity. You just simply don't solve it that way.
Cool. We've got one more session with the doc coming up after this. Do not move a muscle. 021-430-9881.
Great having Dr. Eve in student, of course, that she's not going anywhere. We've got one more session down with her, and it's all about speaking about maintaining that spark in the relationship. Tabiso, is that something you've had to do?
I have. I think, you know, the one thing that I've learned from my relationship experience is that very often we forget to constantly check in with each other, and that's why most people lose the spark in their relationships. I mean, people change and evolve during a relationship, and what happens is you forget to sort of keep up with the change, and you miss the person, and that's sometimes where the spark gets lost. So for me, I definitely think date nights to keep it sort of reinvigorated, right, and to get to know each other as you as you evolve.
And it doesn't have to be date night per se. It's going out for lunch, taking each other
Having
out
a
for
chat,
breakfast,
having a
spending
chat.
time together.
That's it. And
There
you can
we go.
see, I mean, if you look at that poll once again, if we can go back there, okay, yeah, so you've got the date nights, very, very important, absolutely. But I think that keeping yourself interesting, keep myself interesting is another one as well, is that don't now let yourself down and let yourself go once you are in the relationship. Keep yourself interesting and
Keep
interested.
yourself interesting and interested. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to Dr. Eve. Our lines are open. It's 021-430-9881.
Oh.
Wow, how interesting is that poll, hey?
Yeah, I love it. I love
38%
it.
saying that date night is still the
Yes.
thing that brings that spark back into the relationship.
Yeah.
Like you said, not necessarily bring it back, but just elevates it to a new place. But let's be honest, how often does date night happen?
Yeah,
Especially
well,
when there's kids involved.
yeah, you know what? I think it's a longing for a couple just to have some time alone from the daily maintenance of their relationship. But what do you do when you're in that space? What do? You know, you're talking about the children.
Yeah.
Or else because you're not being absolutely
Exactly.
honest.
And here's the thing, date
Honest.
night is usually going to the movies, so you're surrounded by other people, going to a restaurant, so you're surrounded by other people. How much communication and connection actually happens in date
Or what
night?
kind of communication happens in that space?
Yeah.
It becomes a place just to complain and to criticize and to talk about the children and to try and resolve arguments. So date nights can be really productive if you spend it in a positive way, acknowledging and appreciating the things that one has done during the week or during the month. And really, it's nice to take notes around that so that you sit down with the positivity and say, I really like that. I know this was difficult for you this week. Just to bring that in. And then always add in an aspiration, a dream, a vision. What are we working towards as a couple? What are we planning towards? Because we want to keep a little bit of excitement going for future goals as well.
We've got another caller on the line. Anonymous from Cape Town. Good morning. How are you? What is your question or comment for Dr. Eve?
Good morning. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Go for it.
All right. I'm calling to find out now if the, like you said, we need to ask each other's questions.
Yeah.
And then, but now when you ask questions and the person becomes like it's closed up inside, he doesn't want to respond to your questions. And other thing is when you got some stuff that she hides, and then you try to figure out what is there that you can do to help it, and then she just shut you down.
Sure. So it sounds as if your partner has gone into exactly what you're saying, is shut down. And then it's very difficult for you to try and get into the space with her. Is this shutdown something that has happened recently, or was she always kind of quite a guarded person?
Yeah, for sure. It's something that's happened recently.
Recently. So you know that something is going on and you alert to it. So right, so I would just talk to this person and say, I'm very aware, I'm noticing that you've shut down. Tell me what's going on. Don't try and ask questions. The minute somebody asks questions, you become more and more defensive and you get your back up against the wall and you become more shut down. So you notice something is worrying her. Say to her, I notice something is worrying you. It doesn't mean it's about you. It could be about a secret, as you said, that she's not sure. Secrets are a big thing in relationships, and because we're not honest, we lose the spark. So you want to find out why it is. Maybe she fears that you'll judge her, or that you will reject her, or disrespect her if she shares something with you. But all that she's doing is pushing you further away, where maybe all she wants is for you to hold her tighter, hold her tighter. So say that to her, I noticed. Let her know that you notice, without criticism or judgment, with empathy. I notice that you are shut down. I notice that I can't reach you. I notice you're concerned. And maybe she'll respond better to that.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I hope that helps, man. I hope that helps. It really becomes apparent, you know, how important the way you talk to your partner about these things. Because I think people lose track. People are very much kind of focused on their own lives and this and that, and it's me. And the way you talk to your partner is not conducive to bringing about any change.
But you know what, Ewan? I mean, I agree with you completely. Yeah. What people need to be aware of is that before the shutdown happens, other stuff happens. Yeah. And because we're too busy, we don't notice that there is criticism or there is contempt, which we call it's John Gottman calls the 5 horsemen that creep into the relationship. There is criticism, there is contempt, there's defensiveness. and then there is a shutdown. The person just completely shut down. So there are a few stages to be aware of before you hit that wall where it just is absolutely, I'm out of here. So be aware of what's going on. Try and be honest in your communication, because in that way there is intimacy. When there's intimacy, there's more sexuality. When there's more sexuality, feels as if I actually have a relationship that's thriving.
That's powerful. We all want relationships.
Then there's a spark. You can have your spark then.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Eve. This was a really good chat. We always feel like we need so much more time, because relationships are never cut and dry, are they?
Oh, so complicated.
They're always so complicated, but that's why we love them, and that's why we have Dr. Eve here to help us navigate through life and love easily. We'll be back with our relationship chat again next week, Monday, same time, same place.
Oh, well, that's always something to look forward to on a Monday, is our relationship chats with Dr. Eve. And something else is our Mandela Monday hero. We're going to introduce you to Thurlow Jansen, who's been doing some incredible work in the community, using the sport of golf to reach the youth.
Yeah, totally inspiring. Also still coming up, it's still on the load shedding theme. We're teaching you how to make those load shedding recipes by showing you how to make that black bean and corn burritos. It's so interesting for me, and I can't wait to share it with you. So stick around right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso live right here on SABC3. Thank you so much for choosing to wake up with us and waking up on the right side of bed this morning. Now, Mandela Monday heroes. We call them Mandela Monday heroes because they do such inspiring work to help build our nation, right?
Yes, absolutely. And this morning we're focusing on a story of a man who uses golf to teach vulnerable youth about life, about lessons, about happiness, and all through the sport of golf. And we absolutely love it. Check it out.
Known to many as a gentleman's sport, Thurlow Jansen uses the sport of golf to cultivate talent in Cape Town's communities, but not only in the communities, especially those who are less privileged. Soccer, rugby and cricket have much success in offering opportunities and life lessons to children from stressed communities. The sport of golf does the same, but with a more personal internal focus. Thurlow, you started the golf initiative under the Heal the Hood organization to not only grow the sport in Cape Town, but to expose children from underprivileged areas to the sport. Can you tell us a little bit more about this passion?
I was 8 years old when I wanted to play this game, and nobody gave me the opportunity. In the late 20s I started playing, and it's also by chance that somebody gave me the opportunity. I was at the golf course and then somebody said to me, would you like to play? And I said yes, and he said okay, go play. And then I played and came off and he worried, nah, what's it going to cost me? And then he said, look, just a smile on your face, payment enough. So ever since that, it's always stuck with me. In 1998, I did the first school. And from there, it just grew. And that's my passion. So, you know, I love the game. So that's what drives me to do what I'm doing.
You've reached over 150 schools with this initiative and countless children with that. What values do you hope this sport will instill in the children?
The value of this is because of the value of the core value of the sport, you know, honesty, integrity. It also teaches you discipline, and it also teaches that if you're prepared to work, then you will reap the benefits. And to the kids here, I've already told them last year that if you set a goal for yourself, the world is your oyster. It's up to you. And it's the circumstances that you live in doesn't make for who you are.
I find golf a wonderful sport. It keeps out of trouble and it takes me away from stress. I enjoy most of the lessons because it can bring me far in life.
I've been playing golf about a year and 2 months now, and it's very fun playing golf. Why I like playing golf is that you rest your mind and think about beautiful things, and most girls can do it. Girls can also show boys that they are better.
I've been playing golf a year and two months. I think about very good things, not of bad things, and my mind is very relaxed when I play golf. Mr. Jansen let us feel very comfortable while we're playing golf, and he is the best.
Through his LinkedIn profile, Thurlow fundraises to allow these children access to driving ranges, Mashi courses, and ideally to get them 2 games of golf each month, 12 months a year.
This initiative is still very new. Where do you see it going?
I'm looking at taking it further, you know. Hopefully I can get people in America interested in an exchange program with the kids so they can go over there and see what the rest of the world is like. The idea is to grow it as much as possible.
So not too long ago, we also interviewed your brother, Emil Jansen, for his hip-hop component for Heal the Hood. This is something that clearly runs in the family. Why is it so important for you to share your values with those less privileged?
When we grew up, we had our father was coaching kids, and he did it for mobile for years. And we always wondered why. And then he says, you know what, you just see the smile in the child's face. You know, when you give him to do something, and he does it and he achieves that little goal that you gave him, then that's enough payment. So that is why we do it, because we love our communities.
To any golfer, pro shop, businessman, company or pro who wants to help even a little in sharing their love for the game, Thurlow Jansen and Heal the Hood Golf could use your help.
Well, the current load shedding in South Africa has had us making a big impact, or has had a big impact really on our daily routines, including dinner time. Now, we'll be sorting you out with some great recipes that you can prepare needing no electricity at all. We'll be showing you how to make a delicious and healthy black bean and corn burrito. So interesting. It can be prepared and cooked by candlelight. Kyle, you're going to love that.
Very romantic, very romantic.
So the reason why I'm here is, you know, we've been doing random acts of kindness throughout the show. And earlier on, when I was about to do the news, Ewan came to me and he brought me a cup of coffee and he's like, Leanne, I got this. So I was like, straight up, I got this. I'm a cook for you, and then I'll bring him in a bit later on. So we have to do a really good job because he's fantastic in the kitchen, okay?
So this is not for me.
Well, you can join in on the fun too.
It is. All right, so let's quickly just talk about what's going to go into our burrito.
Burrito.
All right, so we've got some black beans. Carl, are you going to put it together for us?
Beans.
Throw it in there, darling. Throw it in there. We've got some green pepper.
All right. I'm trying to imitate your Australian accent.
So much hard work.
We've got some red onion.
There we go.
We've got some mealies or corn.
Mealies.
The keyword, if you want the recipe sent to you of this, is dinner. SMS dinner to 33728. We'll send you a link with the recipe and all the ingredients you need to prepare this yourself.
Avocado.
We're just pushing this all out.
Just push it out, darling.
Oh, that looks great.
It's starting to look really good.
I know.
It hasn't even been
It's
2
all in
minutes.
the fingers.
It's all in the fingers.
It's all in the fingers. And then we've got some coriander.
There we go.
I'm not a huge fan of too much, so we'll just pop in, not everything, just a little bit.
It's great for flavor.
Exactly.
But you don't want too much.
Do you want to put some lemon in there just to keep everything fresh and zesty? Got to keep it fresh and zesty. And the nice thing is when the lights are out, these are all things that you can just grab and kind of just chop up and put together. And then the pièce de résistance is our sriracha.
Ah, beautiful. The truth is there's nothing more stressful when load shedding happens and you haven't had your dinner. You just don't know what to do with yourself. Because first of all, you can't even request anything via the Eats app. You can't do nothing.
Yeah, you're not requesting anything. And the nice thing is if you did want this to have a little bit of a creamy context, just to bring it together even more, you can add sour cream.
Sour cream.
Sour cream is a good one. And
So
if
it
you
makes
wanted
it what?
to add,
Nice and thick?
Yeah, you can add like quinoa, you can add rice to it, you can add meat to it.
Yeah.
And now we're going to add it to our burrito, to our tortilla wrap. Do you know how to do this?
We're going to pretend I do.
I hope he does. He has a whole show about making food.
Stop about there.
Okay.
So that we can still wrap it.
Which way are we? I was going to go this way. You want me to go this way?
Yeah. Just put it there, nicely
Okay,
there.
cool.
Do you actually make any food at all on your show?
You know, bro, smoke and mirrors, man.
It's TV, baby, it's TV.
Oh, nice.
One more little scoop.
There we go.
Yeah.
And there we go. That was a
Okay.
steady
Ewan
hand
is
that you
going
got
to love
going
this.
there.
Dude, there we go.
Okay, so we're going to wrap it up from the bottom. We're just going to fold it over there. And then we're going to take the one side. And then we're going to take the other side. And Bob's your uncle. I'm just going to add a bit more because it seems like we're being stingy over here.
She's a
and
chef.
you know,
It's a Monday, we dieting,
Ewan Stratum
bro.
is going to be
We are
training.
dieting.
He's been training, so he needs
the
to.
food. He needs the food.
Lekker.
All right.
Dan vat jy hom net so dan eet jy hom.
Ja.
Okay.
Goed.
Right,
And
we're gonna give it a good
the
fold like
keyword
that.
once again is dinner to 33728. Shall we get the stray dom in here? Stray dom.
Straight dog.
Look, it's unfolding itself.
I made that one.
I will have that one over
You can have
there.
that one.
Get in there.
Yeah.
Get in there. Get in there.
Oh, sure. Actually,
got a
get in.
taste.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a random
like
act of
Cassim's
kindness.
Kitchen, eh? Like,
Here we go.
Yay, bro, like straight out of
Where's
it.
your music?
Sorry, man, I forgot my decks. It's coming here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Straight in, hey?
He went in there.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
What do you think?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
And
for,
you're not
for
just
a
being
meat-free wrap.
kind. 'Cause
No. Yeah.
Not being biased.
Are you going to take a bite of your own one?
I will. That you.
This is good.
What's happening here?
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, to 33728. Another one.
Oh, Leanne never misses the opportunity to razzle and dazzle the gents that come onto this show.
good.
But it is dinner to
Everybody's eating my
33728.
food.
Anyone can make this, and we'll send you a
I'm so
link
hungry.
to the recipe.
Starving.
You have a bite.
What about me, guys? I'm feeling left out of this.
Come.
Leanne.
Come on.
Certainly crazy in the kitchen this morning. Well, you know what? We're taking our inspiration from load shedding that's, disrupting our lives, if I can put it that way. They've just whipped up a dish that doesn't require anything, so it's a perfect meal during load shedding. But I know a lot of people getting ready, and sometimes that affects them as well. No,
it does.
So what tips do you have for us?
Can I first talk about your hair because it looks gorgeous?
Thank
Did anyone
you.
compliment her today?
That's
rose gold.
Rose gold.
This you cannot do without power. I would not advise coloring your hair in the dark, so that's already a no. But listen, what we saw in last week when we ventured to New York for New York Fashion Week, and I'm doing a roundup of London Fashion Week next week, is a return to very natural, clean, dewy, soft skin.
I love skin is winning this year.
It really is. And check in tomorrow because it's amazing what we're seeing off the catwalks. But that makes putting on makeup in the dark, if you have to, that much easier because it's really just twofold. All you need is a great BB cream, which is supposed to be for treating blemishes, but it actually works as a tinted moisturizer.
It is a very nice moisturizer, and you know what, when I'm free in terms of not have to be in front of the camera or on the weekends, my go-to is my BB cream.
It's fantastic, right? So that's really easy, and you don't really have to worry because it's not a thicker foundation that you have to worry about blending, and is it actually matching the skin tone? Really easy. And then a gloss. Again, it's very soft lips and very natural colors as well, so you can't really get those wrong. What I love though, fashion-wise for load shedding, because this is a big one. You ain't got no power means you ain't got no iron.
I know.
You ain't got no iron, and many of us don't have steamers either.
Okay.
But that's a good
even
investment.
if you had a steamer, you need electricity to work the steamer, Nick.
Listen, I'm not an electrician. I never claimed to be one. Okay, a very quick tidbit for getting creases out of product, Zoe Brown.
Okay, so we have a shirt here
We have
that,
a
as I
shirt.
can see, it's very creased. Must I hold it for you?
Please, that'd be great.
So what have you got there?
Listen,
a damp cloth.
all you need is a damp towel. Who knew? A damp towel
I need to see this work.
or a spray bottle of water. So if you had a spray bottle, you would hang this, spray, and then hang dry or on flat and get it out. But in the interest of time and efficiency, damp cloth, and then what you do is you actually need to go into the creases here.
You need to dab.
But be very firm in it.
Look at that!
Isn't that amazing? Do you see
the
that?
creases are disappearing.
Going. So what you do is you damp, and then you can just lay it flat on your bed or flat surface.
Okay.
And then basically
So,
stretch them out.
Nick, I love this technique, but I would just encourage you to use a white cloth on your white linen.
Yes.
Because I can see little black things.
No, that's water.
Just brush it off.
We got a lint brush. That's my second segment. That's my roundup. But it's such an easy and effective way, and it's cheap.
Look at it working. I love this idea. Well,
That's
next
it.
trailer is showing us the most of what to do if load shedding strikes and you're just like, oh my gosh, I need to get ready. I can't look that bad. Well, there you go. Nick giving us all of the tips that we need. And of course, we're still going to give you your daily message brought to you by Nairobian. That's coming up after the break.
Right.
I love this
Isn't that
look.
great? Without the blood.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Of course, we only have a couple of minutes left, and before we say goodbye for your Monday morning, we need to get our daily dose of feel-good words from Nairobian.
And I got that daily dose right here for us. I'm ready, I'm ready. It doesn't seem like I'm ready, but I'm actually ready right now. Now I'm ready. Okay, cool. So
your random act of
That's my act of kindness.
Oh, we're so amazing. All right, so our quote for today is, be patient. Slow progress is better than no progress. So stay positive and don't give up. I love that. Slow progress is better than no progress.
I like that. That's very cool. Just make sure there is progress.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've been spending a lot of time in traffic, so slow progress.
Better than no progress. At least you reach your destination, which is progress.
Eventually.
That's a good way to see
wonderful.
it. Well, that's our positive quote for the day. Let's get Carl Cassim back in here, brother. Get in here, man.
Did you guys miss me?
We did, man. Dude, that rap was
the
amazing.
burrito.
Remarkable, eh?
the
Yeah,
burrito.
thank you.
The burrito.
We'll make one this week.
It was good. It was
And you were
good.
so calm and collected in the kitchen, like you were just so comfortable.
That's what he does, man. That's what he does.
I'm not sure if you guys have asked him this, but what's your favorite dish to cook up in the kitchen?
I have a couple. So
You're good.
Curry and pastas.
My man. I'm about that curry life. I really am about that curry life.
It makes it better because it's usually paired with some epic music as well, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Next time I have a little curry party at my house, you guys, curry at Cassim's. You welcome.
Oh, you have to invite us.
Wonderful. Don't be that person that puts it out there and then
No.
Then we see it on the gram.
Leanne stops ghosting me, we can talk
Listen, today's been about random acts of kindness, and we've done quite a few on the show this morning. What are you guys going to be doing?
I made Leanne a cup of coffee, and I offered to take over her news segment, which was very difficult. It was a difficult news.
It was difficult news, and I appreciate, that got me in the fields right there.
And I made Princess a cappuccino this morning because she usually does, all the cappuccinos for everyone that comes onto the show. And she's so special and a big part of the show here. I mean, all our guests absolutely love her, and we love her as well. We start the show so early.
She was blown away. She just said,
wow. Yeah, she was like, wow. But she loves me.
Did she drink it?
I love her.
She did.
I see her drink it.
We need to ask her if she enjoyed it.
Kyle, do you have any random acts of kindness that you plan to do today?
I'm spending the rest of the day with Ewan, and I'm going to train him. Teach him actually.
Yeah, we have a whole plan laid out. Yeah,
already.
He's got an exercise thing.
Because he's getting a little touchy around the...
There's nothing touchy about this man.
It's been a long weekend, guys. I've let myself go completely.
One weekend, wow.
So we'll train and then we'll have curry at Cassim.
Yes.
I think that's the plan, man.
It's all about balance.
All about balance. Carl, thank you very much for joining us, man. Really appreciate it, man. Keep rocking the airwaves and the recipes.
Thanks so much, man.
Lucky to have us, man. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Cape Town.
Expresso Morning Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.